now from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk. It is 82 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores, The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Good morning and a happy Wednesday to you, friends. It is July 15th. We're exactly halfway through the month, and it's time to have a little fun today, I think. Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ranji, and we'll be with you till 12 o'clock. We are every weekday from 9 until noon, then the Gas House Gang at 12. And on that show, Bernie Miklasz will join me. We'll talk about the All-Star Game, Cardinals. We'll talk prospects as well. There's plenty to get into. But until then, it's Amy and me, 314-436-7900. Visit us by calling the show or texting the show, leaving voice messages on the Odyssey app. You can do that, too. You can listen to the show on the Odyssey app. You can, you know what else? You can watch. Do you want to watch us? You can. You can see our faces if you care to. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We are on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top three stories everyone will be talking about.
Well, are you avoiding all the leafy greens out there? Because that's where we think the exploding diarrhea is coming from. The cyclosporiasis, which is just wreaking havoc around the country. Let us know if you're avoiding salads because
we want to know.
Because you know what? I've been thinking, I don't know if I want to eat that.
Listen, I was going to make a giant salad that included a lot of cilantro, and I thought twice.
Yeah, I get it.
314-436-7900. Also, local elections, I believe, less than 3 weeks away. August 4th on the ballot will be St. Louis prosecuting attorney Melissa Price Smith, and she joins us in studio today at 9:30.
And the All-Star Game. Baseball's All-Star Game took place last night. Our National League was shut out, and our Cardinals, Walker, Herrera, O'Brien, all got into the game. Really was an uneventful sort of night last night for the National League. It was nothing like Tuesday night was. Tuesday night was a lot of fun. You know what I mean?
I was hoping, that Walker would hit a home run or two, but he only had one at bat. Walker wanted him to hit a home run. As it turned out, Riley O'Brien hit the batter.
Yeah,
that was up and in. The pitch got away, but I was like, geez, Louise, it didn't look good.
So Riley O'Brien did hit somebody, Junior Caminero, and he's apparently okay. They did do an X-ray and came back negative because it hit him on the side of the left hand. And O'Brien went over there.
It could have been bad.
Yeah, could have broken his hand.
Yeah.
And O'Brien went over there while the X-ray was going on, apparently, and apologized to him. And, I'm sure he felt bad because he wasn't trying to do that. It's an exhibition game.
Yeah.
You're not trying to hurt somebody in an exhibition game.
Well, that's why I would be extra embarrassed that it's like you're at the family reunion and you're the one that, tries a little too hard and hits grandma. Hurts grandma.
When you're playing tackle football?
Yeah. Or flag football, and you tackle grandma, and you're like, geez Louise, Amy, it's flag football at a family reunion. That's kind of how he felt with Riley O'Brien. I mean, that's how he had to have felt.
We always played tackle football with grandma. Both of them. I smoked them both. It was awesome. No, but I think that that's the greatest fear with the exhibition game. And the game does not, to me, it's not as exciting as it was when I was a kid. And I've been thinking a lot about this over the years. Is it because I grew out of it? Or is it because it used to be? So I grew up in the 80s. That was when baseball was becoming my thing. And the Cardinals were really good at that time. Mm-hmm. And I heard a coworker of mine, an old coworker of mine, on a show that he does, talking about this. And his contention is there should not be fan voting anymore. That we shouldn't allow fans to do it because they don't really, not that they don't know what's going on, but that the allure of voting for your own players to get into the All-Star game used to be great when you were younger because every baseball game wasn't on TV. So when I grew up, I didn't get to watch Don Mattingly play. Not really. The only opportunity I would get to see a Yankee play is if the All-Star game happened. Or every now and then there was like a game of the week on, I forgot what day of the week it was. Every now and then you get a nationally televised game, but it wasn't regular. Now you can watch every single game. You can see highlights from every single game. We see every single player. So the draw of getting to watch Shohei Ohtani, even though he's in the National League, but let's say you're an AL fan, everybody gets to see Ohtani. In fact, your team gets to play him every year. That's the way the schedule's set up. So it just doesn't have the same, draw to me that it used to. And I think it's more that than it is nostalgia. You know what I'm saying? Like, I at first I thought, is it just because I used to like it when I was a kid and I grew out of it and I don't care anymore? Or is it because I get to see these players all the time? What's the big deal?
Do you think it is, not just that you get to see the players at your stadium now, which you didn't used to do, now that you have interleague play.
Yeah.
But there's also just so much access and exposure between all of the sports networks and all of the social media and all of the highlights. And that necessarily, even in the 90s, you didn't have that much access. Here we are in the National League. If you wanted to watch the American League highlights, you could watch Sports Center even in the 90s into early 2000s, but you didn't have in your hand access to every single play, hit, highlight for any player on any team in either league 24/7.
Yeah, and for me, I remember being a kid and there was a real, like getting to show off your toys. Right, because we were talking about the World Cup and welcoming all the foreigners in. Yeah, look how great everything is. There was something really fun back then about the rest of the National League gets to watch Ozzie Smith in the All-Star game now, or they get to watch Tom Herr in the All-Star game. And there was something very cool about that. You get to show off your players to the rest of the country. Well, now the rest of the country can see.
Yeah.
It's not the same. So maybe the All-Star voting should be decided by players, coaches, media, people who cover and dive into numbers and that sort of thing. Maybe that's what it should be now.
If you can see, though, any player, like if you were to switch up who went to the All-Star game, I mean, obviously everyone still has just as much access to all of those players. So what does it accomplish by having the writers choose instead of the fans?
For me, it's that, and it's not that writers are infallible because they're not. There are a lot
often insufferable.
There are some baseball writers out there who like themselves a little too much. I think we have really good writers here in St. Louis. Derek Gould is the most well-known. He's been around a long time. He's fantastic. I trust them more to dive into numbers.
Yeah.
And to really go, well, he's having a great year, but this guy's a little better, so I'm going to give my vote to him. You're going to get some hometown votes,
but you're
of
saying
course.
it's more of a principle thing then? Because do you know what I mean? You're not solving a problem of letting fans see players they wouldn't otherwise see. Because we just laid the foundation that they can see anybody they want at any time. So is it more of if the writers vote, it's on principle,
Well,
there's more deserving players there?
Yeah, it's if we're deciding who's having the best year, who are the stars for this season so far.
Yeah.
And who are the best players? These are the best players.
Versus name recognition on any given year.
Yeah.
This is okay. Does it help at all if they're not going to do this? I get it. They will not. Was it any better when it was in stadium voting or not really?
Yes, because you couldn't, unless you went to every single game, you could not vote. How many times can you vote? Like is it 5 times a day? You could vote 5 times a day by doing it online. They're never going to go back to paper ballots. Yeah. It took too much time. It was costly because you had to actually print the ballots. Then you had to count the ballots. But now it's online. It's easy. It's way cheaper. So they're never going to go away from that. But anyway, what was cool about this All-Star weekend was the fact the Cardinals got to show off Jordan Walker. And he really showed himself off because he was just fantastic on Tuesday by winning the home run derby. And I was deciding if we wanted to start the show by upsetting Cardinals fans.
Oh,
by making them angry.
Well, you didn't run this by me.
Oh, I did. And I've made an executive decision. I want to make Cardinals fans angry.
Why do I not remember this?
But it's not me who did it. This is something somebody else said. This is from Barstool. Barstool's mostly sports show. And they were talking about how awesome Jordan Walker is, and this is the conversation they had.
Jordan Walker.
Yes. Hello. Is there a problem? Do we have a technical issue?
Uh-oh.
Apparently we have a technical issue.
Jordan Walker's family's what a likable fella. Cool as we got to get him off the Cardinals. We got to find a way. You're a fan of every other NL Central team, so you agree with me on that. Cardinals, a guy that cool should not play for the Cardinals.
I don't hate a lot of baseball teams because, as a Braves fan from Atlanta, I've always hated the Cardinals. You know why I hate the Cardinals? Because Cardinals fans are full of
That's right.
They want you to know they're the best fans in baseball.
That's right.
If you have to tell people you're the best fans in a sport, you're not the best fans in a sport.
That's exactly right.
And I've always hated that. And the Cardinals, boring.
Yeah.
Boring. The stadium boring, uniform boring, everything boring about the Cardinals. Jordan Walker should play for the Braves. Or maybe the Brewers.
Or maybe the Cubs? Dare I say the Cubs?
Don't think he'd work.
You think the Cardinals jerseys are boring?
Kinda, yeah. Do you think they're not? I don't think they're bad in any stretch of the imagination. I just think Cardinals are a boring baseball organization. Yeah. But really, I don't hate them because of that, because they've probably been one of the most consistently good organizations in all of sports my life. They're probably a top 5 organization my entire life. They're fans. It's just the fans will boo, and then they'll cheer, and they'll do the same thing every other fan base does, and they're like, look at us.
They feel like they're different. Yeah.
Look at us.
Okay, buddy.
That's from Barstool.
Can I just say, too, why did the tempo or the cadence of that conversation sound exactly like a Family Guy skit? Where, like, Peter's talking, you think they're boring? I think they're boring. Why? Just the tempo of it, I felt like I was listening to a Family Guy skit. First of all, it's Barstool, so whatever. I would say they're not wrong with saying historically. They say boring. I think a lot of people would say maybe uptight or stuffy.
That's true.
That's not wrong.
They are correct about that.
That's not
yes.
wrong.
Yes.
And because we've said as much that this year with the tarps off, and the way the team leaned into it, but not too much, and even Al Raboski getting into it, that was not stuffy. And the way this team is playing isn't stuffy. And so the reason why we're noticing all of that, because, historically, the Cardinal way was kind of uptight. So I'm going to give him some leeway with that. And I think historically the Cardinals have been good. And don't a lot of people hate teams that have consistent success?
That does happen. I do think that for about 20 years or so, there was an air of, we're the best.
Yes.
Look at us. And I do think that comes off to other people. It's off-putting, and they're not wrong. It is. They're not wrong.
I
but
always
also,
said we're not arrogant. We're just better than you.
in defense of Cardinals fans, I wouldn't say the fan base started the BFIB thing. I don't think we started the best fans in baseball. You have these announcers, national announcers that say, those are the best fans in baseball. And it was like being told you're pretty. And then it gets in your head like, I am pretty, aren't I? And then you kind of, you have that air about you. That's how you operate at all times. And I think that's what we fell into, and we should not have done that. But we did. But
it's hard, though. If people tell you you're pretty often enough,
have some humility.
Well, but it's hard. It's hard to not make that part of your identity. When you're told it enough, it becomes, because like I said, I flew A4 on Southwest one time. It messed me up for life.
So I'll say this. I think that there is also a little truth to, I think there's some nuance here. I do think there's some truth to what he said at the end about how, we'll cheer for an opposing player or whatever, and that's what he was implying. We'll stand up and go, that was a really nice play. And he's like, but they do the same thing every other fan base does. And they go, look at us. Look at how good we are. And I think that's kind of true. But also, I do think Cardinals fans tend to acknowledge the opposing players a little bit more than in other cities.
Well, I mean,
like if another guy makes a great defensive play, there's some applauding for it.
There's two extremes. You have our fan base and you have like Philadelphia fans. You can notice characteristic differences between those two fan bases. And I don't know, maybe a lot of fan bases are in between the two, where maybe they'll boo a bit more than Cardinals fans do, and maybe they will cheer maybe just a little bit less for the opposing team, but still has some of those characteristics. But I think you can kind of make some broad brushstrokes. Like I said, Phillies fans and Cardinals fans, yeah, there's a difference. You're going to notice it. I think any big city like New York, Chicago, those tend to be tough fan bases.
Yeah, they don't like to acknowledge if you've done something well. Philadelphia, exactly.
Yeah. And like I said, we've talked about this with Blues fans, like when they were booing Jordan Kyrou. One reason it was such a big deal that they booed him because Blues fans don't boo a lot. Toronto fans do, right? They don't have a lot of patience.
Well, they're perpetually upset, yes.
And then, but Blues fans, it takes a while. We're pretty polite. Oh, gosh, I forgot who said it, but some broadcaster said it's kind of like a lot of fans get mad at the ballpark, but Phillies fans, show up mad. That's the difference.
That probably does happen. Sox fans are like that, too.
But here's where I think the guy was totally wrong. The Cardinals jerseys are not boring.
No, the
birds on bat is not boring.
No, that's a good uniform. The stadium is good, too, so I'm not really sure what he's talking about there. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. Let us know what you think of these Barstool people.
Yeah, 314-436-7900.
It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
All right. Well, I have been talking about Rottler because, now is the time that you might be noticing a lot of bugs. I noticed stinging insects, and Rottler can take care of stinging insects. Because if you have carpenter bees, they're going to bore holes into wood and of your deck or of fences. They can really cause some damage. And then you can have other stinging insects like wasps that find hollow spaces. That's what happened to me between the slats of my fence. And you don't see them until you do. And sometimes it's in some kind of attack. And then, of course, there's your yard. You have spent so much money, so much time making your yard look nice. I know with all this rain, it's been great. A lot of green grass there. But the number one way that your lawn gets destroyed are mole tunnels. Well, did you know Rottler can take care of moles as well? They have a year-round program. And because it's all exterior treatments, you don't even have to be home for them to do the program. Also, Rottler has been serving the St. Louis and surrounding areas for 70 years. So give them a call. When you do call, you'll have a real-life person answer the phone. That's rare and really nice these days. And they have same-day or next-day service, and the inspection is free. Visit Rottler.com, Rottler.com.
Sometimes historic events suck. But what shouldn't suck is learning about history. I do that through storytelling. History That Doesn't Suck is a chart-topping history-telling podcast, chronicling the epic story of America, decade by decade, from the 18th century to the 20th. Original music and immersive sound design accompany us on our storytelling journey. Listen to and follow History That Doesn't Suck, an Odyssey podcast, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
You take care of your dog out of love and responsibility. But what if every scoop that you're feeding them is slowly making them sicker? Not because you're a bad pet owner, but because the pet food industry never told you the truth. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Blank, Amazon #1 best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. Dog food is dead food, stripped of every live nutrient that your dog needs. That's where Rough Greens comes in. Just sprinkle it on top of whatever you're already feeding them. It's packed with live probiotics, enzymes, omega oils, and over 20 live vitamins and minerals, all natural and made in the USA. Thousands of dog owners are watching their pets transform. More energy, shinier coat, better mobility, and your dog could be next. Take the Rough Greens 90-day challenge. Give us 90 days and we'll give you a healthier dog, guaranteed. Get a free Jumpstart trial bag for your dog today. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. Use discount code USA. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code USA. Rough Greens. So good, your dog will ask for it by name.
Hey guys, this is Kevin Wheeler. If you're looking for a little kick in the pants when it comes to dropping a little weight, getting better shape, getting more into the gym, think about Burn Balance Complex, which you can pick up at supplement superstores. I've been using it since it came out. It's fantastic. You notice right away the difference. Look, we all have busy schedules. I do and you do. We all have problems sometimes with controlling our eating patterns and staying on a plan. Well, Burn Balance Complex makes that so much easier. It's not magic, but it definitely helps make it easier. It is a complete metabolism system. It's not just a fat burner. So what you're talking about is a natural weight loss option. So if you're a person that doesn't want to go get a prescription, you're not into injections, this is a great choice for you. In addition to the metabolism boost, you get to lower stress and cortisol levels, get better sleep. It can help control appetite and cravings, all-day focused energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. If you want the help, and look, we all need it, I know I do, go to Supplement Superstores, tell them your story, mention Kevin Wheeler, and they'll knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex. You can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
When it comes to family law, a lot has changed in recent years, so assumptions can be costly. If you see or sense a change coming in your family life that could have legal implications, it's important to know where you stand. Getting good legal advice early is never a bad idea. I'm Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. If you or anyone you know is facing a family law issue, start with a consultation. Visit CordellCordell.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Soldiers Memorial Military Museum looks at American military history through the lens of St. Louis. From the Revolutionary War to the present day, the galleries showcase stories of local service members and delve into the city's wartime history. Outside, the Court of Honors includes monuments to those who lost their lives in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Admission is free. Find information about special exhibits at mohistory.org/memorial. That's mohistory.org/memorial.
Celebrate the month of July with Zero Res and get 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at just $129. Get your air ducts cleaned for $599 per unit. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com and take advantage of the savings. That's ZeroResSTL.com.
Built on a century. Focused on today. The voice of St. Louis. KMOX.
Okay, one more thought on this Jordan Walker Cardinals are boring thing from Barstool. The fact that if you missed the last segment, we played a little bit of audio from one of the Barstool shows, Mostly Sports is what it's called, and they were talking about how awesome Walker is and his family and likable, and they love the guy, and they said, we got to get him off the Cardinals. We got to get him somewhere else.
He's too cool.
He's too cool to be with the Cardinals. And one of my main thoughts when I heard that was, this. You know what's great about this? Other teams' fan bases are starting to hate us again. Mm-hmm. That's what you want.
Yeah,
that's what you want. Point. Because when they're not hating you, that means you're an afterthought and they don't care about you because your team's not good. So now there's starting to be a little bit of draw with the Cardinals, and I think that's a very good point.
Can I say this too? Because he mentioned how cool his family was, how cool he is, and his parents.
And they're correct. That family is awesome.
Yeah, and I will say, on social media, not only is Jordan Walker being discovered, but I was reading through the comments on Netflix Sports and MLB, and the number of people who said, oh my gosh, his dad went to MIT and his mom went to Harvard. And I love that they're discovering his parents too, because we knew that, but it takes people a while to realize, oh, that's Jordan Walker. Oh my gosh, his dad went to MIT and his mom went to Harvard. And the interviewer for Netflix asked him, does this count as your PhD? And Jordan Walker said, no, my parents would probably still want me to get one.
You don't have time. Hey, mom and dad, you don't have time for that. We need him in the lab, and we needed him in the baseball lab. We don't need him working on something scientific. Okay, how about this? Jordan Walker, you have a choice, Amy.
Okay.
Either Jordan Walker, you get to decide right now what his life path is. Either he, A, becomes a perennial all-star for the Cardinals, or B, he cures some kind of horrendous disease that saves millions of lives. Pick one.
Okay, first of all, sadness is a disease. And
that is not a disease, that's an emotion.
What if he cures millions of Cardinals fans of sadness?
That's not a disease, that's an emotion. So you can only pick one. He's either a perennial all-star, maybe some World Series in there, or he leaves baseball, gets his PhD, becomes a brilliant scientist.
I didn't ask for this.
And he cures
I don't deserve this.
An incurable disease that then saves the lives of millions.
B.
B?
Fine.
Wow, I guess you don't care about the Cardinals.
This is like, would you rather a train run over 20 people or you pull a lever and it runs over 5?
Well, you got to pick the lever.
That's what I did. I picked the lever.
Okay. The one last thing, a text message here, because we asked the question earlier.
Yeah.
Are you avoiding the leafy greens right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's risky.
A texter says, I get salads from Schnucks each week, and I held off this week because of the scoot news. Well,
You don't want it.
no, you don't want the parasitic scoots.
And someone on the news pointed out this morning, too, that, like, right now, it's a bad time to have the scoots because it's also so humid. Like, dehydration's a real deal.
That is true. That's the worst part about the
This is the worst
scoots.
time, yeah, because that's what makes it so dangerous.
Amy mentioned earlier that St. Louis's prosecuting attorney, Melissa Price Smith, is going to, or St. Louis County's prosecuting attorney, Melissa Price Smith, is on the August 4th ballot. She is going to be in studio with us when we come back on KMOX.
Around baseball, questions are being asked.
Why do they win so many one-run games? Why do they win games they shouldn't win?
Is this a rebuild, a reset, or something more?
You think this stuff would be happening?
A win? Burleson and Herrera developing fast enough to change everything in real time? When the day ends, the real conversation begins.
Bernie Miklasz, Matt Pauley, Kevin Wheeler hanging out with you talking cards.
Redbird Rush Hour, weekdays at 5. This is Cardinals talk that doesn't flinch. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Sunny outside, Studio B, 85 degrees. Real field temperature, 102. Hazy sunshine today, a high of 93. Tonight, partly cloudy and humid, a low of 73.
Brought to you by Duke's Real Mayo.
This is the Duke's Country Song. It's a song about good mayo, Duke's Mayo. It'll make any dish sing. Get Duke's Mayo in store. It's got twang.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Let's take a break. Good idea. Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
4 takes them?
That's exactly what 4 does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
And doesn't 4 kill majority rule?
Yep, creates minority rule, where just 5% of statewide voters in one district can block any citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass citizen-led ballot measures.
That's just dumb.
And when the politicians refuse to act, we've used citizen-led ballot measures to pass some big stuff, like lobbyist reforms, term limits for career politicians, and outlawing tax hikes without voter approval.
I'm not surrendering my power and rights to a bunch of politicians and lobbyists. I'm no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Petty 4 buttons are inch per care governance.
Things in Washington, D.C. may seem unsettled at times by their lack of progress. But one department in the U.S. government is progressing. That is the IRS. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS is in full function to collect on unpaid taxes. If you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and get it resolved. Don't think the government is too busy to focus on my issues. Too many of my clients thought the same. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Lance Story Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Or call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceStoryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, At Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
When pain starts to slow you down, BJC Healthcare and WashU Medicine orthopedic specialists are here to help. Nationally recognized leaders in orthopedics deliver care that's informed by research and personalized for you. From everyday aches to complex injuries and recovery, we're here to help you get back to doing what you love. Find an orthopedic specialist today. Visit bjc.org/orthopedics or call 314-362-9355.
Hi, I'm Mark Cantor. The people around here are hardworking people, just like you. And when someone in your family gets hurt in a car wreck, everything can change very fast. That's why having a local lawyer matters. At Cantor Injury Law, we know these towns, these roads, and the people who drive them every day. When you call us, you're calling a local team with boots on the ground, ready to fight for you. You can count on Cantor.
CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Tomorrow night, it's City Soccer on KMOX. First up, Gen C's hosts a special soccer edition of Sports Open Line beginning at 6 from Energizer Park. Then, it's City SC facing Sporting KC. Pre-game 7:05, ticket 7:30. City Soccer on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark scores with you. And as we mentioned just a few minutes ago, local elections take place on August 4th. And on the ballot is the St. Louis prosecuting attorney. And that is Melissa Price Smith. And she joins us now in Studio B. How are you doing this morning?
Good. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, we were just chatting a second ago off the air that you're almost at the finish line of the political stuff because this is not your favorite part of the job. Like you said, you're a prosecutor, but I guess you got to do this too.
Exactly. I am a prosecutor. I'm not a politician.
Yeah.
And I love my job. The political piece has this past year been extremely new to me. But the primary is August 4th. So, yeah it's coming up.
So, as we were talking about earlier off the air, you took over for Wesley Bell in January of 2025, and the campaign process kind of starts pretty quickly from there, does it not? Because you've got an election about a year and a half later, maybe close to 2 years later, but it still is a long process. So you're doing two jobs at once.
Yeah, exactly. So I was appointed to complete Wesley Bell's term on January 3rd, 2025. And he had a year left in his term. So then obviously in order to keep this position, I have to run for election. So the campaign piece, the political piece was completely new to me. So I'm so grateful to my campaign team, Show Me Victories, for teaching me this whole new language. But it's like two full-time jobs because I don't want to be away from my office. So it's like having two full-time jobs to do the political piece at the same time.
So do you ever have moments where you're wanting to do the job of whatever it looks like, of being a prosecuting attorney, but then you're reminded, I have to go do this campaign bit instead? How often does that happen?
It happens often, but the prosecutor piece always comes first. No doubt.
Yeah. And you mentioned, like you said, you're not a politician. You're a prosecutor. You were appointed when Wesley Bell stepped away from the office. And for people who might not be familiar with your background, how long were you a prosecuting attorney before you became the St. Louis County prosecuting attorney? And I know that you specialized in certain divisions within that field.
I have been in the office almost 19 years. For about 18 of those years, I was an assistant prosecutor. We have 75 assistant prosecutors in the office. During that time, I did really everything. I handled hundreds of cases. I had up to about 50 jury trials. I did low-level misdemeanors, moved on to guns and drugs, robberies, burglaries, homicides. But about 15 of those years, I specialized almost primarily in sexual assault and child abuse cases.
How did you come to specialize in that area? Because I would think that emotionally and psychologically, that would be an incredibly incredibly tough. Not that any of it's fun, but that would be especially tough area.
You know, of course it's a tough area, but it was also an honor because in working on these cases, I got the opportunity to work with some of the bravest people, being the victims. Disclosure is difficult in any kind of case, but especially if you're a victim of a sexual assault, these are some of the bravest people I've ever met. Every time a victim comes forward, there's another 100 who never say a word. And it's so important for people to know, and I never miss the opportunity to say, disclosure leads to healing. And once a victim discloses, they are no longer anyone's victim. So it was truly the honor of my life to work on these cases, and I had no intention of doing anything political. I expected that I would continue my career and ultimately retire handling these type of cases. Truly felt it was my calling. And then I was called to something else, and I got this opportunity to lead the office, and I am so very grateful for it because we have grown so much in the past year, and I'm just so proud of the people I work with and the new programs we've put in place.
St. Louis County prosecuting attorney Melissa Price Smith is with us on KMOX. So, you were working as a prosecuting attorney for so many years, thrust into this position last year at the beginning of the year. Why decide to go through with it and go through the campaign and all this again?
Well, first of all, like I said, because I'm proud of what we've done. We created St. Louis County Prosecutor's Office, first ever dedicated homicide unit. We have recruited some of the best prosecutors in the region who worked in our office some 20 plus years ago to come back and take our office to the next level. We reinstated a violent crime unit. Our sexual assault, child abuse unit is now called Special Victims because we added elder abuse under that umbrella, created a hospital violence unit, increased our treatment court and diversion and our community outreach and high school programs. I'm so proud of what we've done this last year, but I really feel like we're just getting started. So I want to keep doing it with my colleagues who are also dedicated and incredible.
I want to ask you more about the different and specific units you mentioned. You reinstated on day one the violent crime unit. How long had that not been going on, and why would there not be a violent crime unit?
The violent crime unit had been suspended about 2 years earlier due to just a shortage of staff. So we reinstated it the afternoon I was sworn in. The benefit of a violent crime unit, it's so very important. When police come to our office and apply on charges with a violent crime unit, if a police officer comes in with a violent crime, a robbery, a burglary, an assault, their charges are reviewed immediately. In real time, a charging decision is made. An individual can only be held in jail 24 hours before a charging decision has to be made. If the charging decision isn't made, that individual is released while the case is reviewed. Violent crimes now are reviewed in real time immediately. So if we do issue charges on a violent offender, that offender is kept in jail. A bond is set. We need to get our violent offenders off the streets, and that is one of the goals of this office.
So you were talking about staffing being an issue a couple of years before you took office with this unit. How has the St. Louis County budget issues that we've been hearing a lot about for the last year or so, how has that affected your office?
Well, it's definitely affected all of St. Louis County, and we lost two very important positions due to budget cuts. They can't be prosecutor positions because public safety is our number one goal. So we lost a media position, we lost a community outreach position, both of which are extremely important, and we still have to cover those areas, but people have to do double duty. But every area in St. Louis County has been affected by the budget cuts. Our budget was cut about 5%, and 99% of our budget is salaries. So it really affects people, and that's tough.
Let's go to the hospital violence unit. You created this, or with you and your staff, you created this unit, and I imagine I have friends who are nurses, people who work in hospitals, and it's a real issue. And I think a lot of nurses feel maybe not seen or underrepresented when it comes to hospital violence. Tell us a little bit about this unit.
Well, that is so very true. And I learned about hospital violence through an incredibly brave woman, and she welcomes me to use her name. Her name is Tammy Scott, and she was a victim on horrific assault when she was working as a trauma nurse at DePaul Hospital, and that case was assigned to me a few years ago. It was Tammy Scott who educated me on how often our healthcare workers in hospitals, and in particular in emergency rooms, are assaulted. About 55% of healthcare workers report being assaulted on the job. And the belief over the years was, you know what, too bad, job hazard. Police weren't really taking reports because prosecutors weren't really issuing charges. And our healthcare workers who protect us in our most vulnerable time weren't being protected. So what I learned from Tammy Scott really opened my eyes to what these healthcare workers go through. So when I took over the leadership position, my goal was to create a hospital violence unit to make sure that anybody who assaults healthcare workers is held accountable. It's very, very important that healthcare workers know we will protect them like they protect us.
Are punishments harsher for that as opposed to just another simple violent crime?
That's a really good question. Some of our healthcare workers, especially those who work in a hospital, are considered special victims by definition, which does make it a little bit of a higher level crime. There's a man named Andrew Wren, one of our top prosecutors, who I put in charge of this unit. He is spending a lot of time trying to improve legislation to include not only healthcare workers in hospitals, but all healthcare workers, and to increase the penalties for these special victims.
You mentioned special victims. You mentioned the special victims unit that includes children and also the elderly.
Yes.
Because you have seen cases where older people are being assaulted or harmed in other ways. And did you feel that wasn't being addressed sufficiently?
Well, we have a general felony team of attorneys, which are very, very good. But we also have specialized teams, like I said, sexual assault and child abuse. And I felt that elder abuse cases have some specific nuances to these cases that needed a specialized team. So that's why we put them on a specialized team, so they would get the special attention they needed and have prosecutors who have really specific training.
And because of the sensitive nature of it.
Exactly. Very sensitive and different. There are different issues in those type of cases, just like sexual assaults and child abuse, that really don't come up in other types of cases.
As you have taken this job and so I guess we're about a year and a half into it and the election is coming up, you have made a lot of changes. What do you feel like is still left to do that hasn't been done, needs to be done? Do you feel like progress is working as quickly as you want to or not? How do you view the future of the office?
Well, first of all, like I said, I'm so proud of the work we've done this past year, the teams that I mentioned, the creation of new teams. But again, I truly feel like we're just getting started. We have an incredible mentorship program now with some really, really distinguished prosecutors who came back to our office, and they are training our younger attorneys. But now we want to fine-tune all of those programs, our training, our teams, doing everything we can to make St. Louis County safer. And we have really increased our treatment courts, our diversion, and our community outreach. We are trying our high school programs. We go into high schools and speak to high school kids. And we don't just, have these, little trivial conversations. We talk about real cases that affect 18-year-olds, because 18 in Missouri is an adult. And we talk about real cases with them. And I call it real talk. When we speak to them about some pretty somewhat gruesome details about how easy it is for a young person to fall into the criminal justice system, it is amazing the communication that we get back, the conversation. So one of the things, we are in about 6 different school districts now. We are working so hard. I have meetings the last 2 days with superintendents. We want to get into every school in St. Louis, because if we can make one student go right instead of left because of something we said, it's worth the entire program. The prosecutor's office, I have realized in leadership, can be strong, can keep violent offenders off the streets, but can also be a part of the solution. We want to be a part of the community and helping people, especially young people, avoid ever being in the system.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because that's where I wanted to go with it. Obviously, your main job is to prosecute people who've committed crimes.
Absolutely.
The best thing you can do is make sure they never do that in the first place. So that has to be the most difficult part of the job, because you don't know who will turn into somebody who's committed a crime that you eventually have to prosecute.
Absolutely. By the time a person gets to our office, we're a reactive office. We're the prosecutor's office. Mm-hmm. When someone comes to us, they get to us as a rapist, a murderer, someone who has committed, a serious felony. At that point, we can't help anymore. We are prosecuting and getting them off the streets. So the role that we are now taking in our office to reach young people, and like I said, I call it real talk, have real talk with them about the things that teenagers get into by just reactive decisions and so many different things that can really ruin their entire life. But having these conversations with them, and, I wish everybody could be in these classes when we speak to them, because the conversation and the questions that really get started when we start speaking openly, I know it's making a difference. I truly do. And like I said, if it keeps one student out of the criminal justice system because of something we said.
I can't help while you're saying this, think of this case. Now, this is in Illinois because it's East St. Louis, but the 16-year-old and the 15-year-old and I believe it's the 16-year-old boy who was charged with killing 5 people, injuring 2. So 7 people were shot related to the 15-year-old's family. I guess my question is, when something like that happens, is that something that you guys look at to say, okay, what can we learn from this? Or how do we just reiterate the importance of our, reaching out to young people in the first place? I know it's kind of a big question, but it's just such a shocking and horrific case.
Well, it's so shocking and horrific. And unfortunately, we hear more and more every day in the news about juveniles committing crimes. And our office only deals with them when they're 18 and up, unless they are certified as an adult. But it's very scary. And it's every case like that one that when we are in the classrooms, we talk about. And we also talk about the importance of, show me who your friends are and I'll show you what your future is. And we talk about what happens when these teenagers see their friends doing A, B, or C. We use some pretty graphic examples of seeing friends do a horrific crime, maybe not participating, but blocking the door so other people don't see it. And what are the repercussions of that? We also talk about those trends that high schoolers think is funny and embarrassing about sending naked pictures of each other and sexual pictures. They think it's funny, they think it's embarrassing, and we explain it's also promotion of child pornography. But we continue the discussion about, hey, what do you do when you get this? When you get a picture, when you get a video? What do you do when all your friends are sharing it? So it's really important discussion. And so the high school program is something we are really working to increase 100%.
St. Louis County Prosecuting Attorney Melissa Price Smith, we thank you for coming in. We appreciate your time.
I thank you all so much. And I just want to add, there are no Republican primaries in St. Louis County in August. Yep. So if you want to weigh in, please pull a Democratic ticket. And I thank everybody for their support.
Yep. The August 4th primary is coming up. Melissa Price Smith, who was the current county prosecutor in St. Louis, is with us now. Thank you again for coming in.
Thanks so much.
It's Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie, I think this is going to be a strange season for real estate. Just kind of feel it in my gut. What can people do apropos of their mortgage to put themselves in a better position to get that house?
You know what, Dave, that's a great question. There's a bidding wars that are going to happen this spring. You want to get the house. This is how you're going to make things better. Number one, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. That means you can go into our portal and generate the letter and edit it for any amount you want up to the amount you're approved without chasing the loan officer. Number two, the bagel loan. No closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. It's a bagel. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. Add that money you would normally pay onto your bid and beat the other offers out. And you know what? The third thing is we can close fast. 10 days. They're going to look away at the other offers because most lenders take as much as 30 days to get done.
You can call or text Stewie at his personal cell phone, 314-324-4440, or you can Google the bagel loan, NMLS 226715.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Well, I'm sure you're aware, I guess you can all imagine that not only are we busy, but other reputable companies are also just as busy, if not busier, and it's only going to get worse. So if you know, I know this is tough, but if your system has not been keeping up with your house for just not this year, but last year, the year before, and even the year before that, if you want to quit doing it and just get it done, just call me, Bart Inman, and it's one easy number, the easiest of numbers that sometimes I forget. So write it down. 314-293-2600. Missouri, and Illinois, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
I'm John Morgan. There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan. For the people.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Ranj, a T-Rex fossil, it's actually a skeleton, sold for a record $50.1 million.
Is it the entire thing? Like the whole?
Well, it says it's a 12.5 foot tall Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton. It's the most expensive dinosaur fossil ever sold at auction. This is per the New York Times. Sotheby's brokered the sale. Did not say who the buyer was or where it was going, but the fossil is nicknamed Gus.
Gus.
It surpasses a Stegosaurus that sold for $44.6 million to hedge fund billionaire Ken Griffin in 2024. But what's interesting is there's a booming private fossil market, like, you know, with these billionaires wanting these fossils. And so guess what's happening? They're pricing out museums. And so now access to dinosaur skeletons for research and public engagement is getting even more scarce because museums cannot compete
With rich people.
with the billionaires.
Yeah. See, man?
Just get a fake one and put it in your basement.
Yeah, I don't understand. This is what I'm talking about.
You put it
Some
in the
people have
foyer?
too much money.
Where do you put it?
Well, they probably...
The
there are
bedroom?
There are some people who can build entire indoor basketball
Yeah.
courts on their property. The Home Alone house, and that's not where a billionaire lives.
Right.
In the suburbs of Illinois, of Chicago. They've built on that property an indoor basketball court.
I don't get that because,
And that's somebody who doesn't have billions.
You want to go to a park and you want to go to the YMCA and play with your buddies. You don't want to be in your basement by yourself playing basketball.
No, these people want to keep it to themselves. They want to, I just want to play ball.
A tennis court would be
I'm going to go
fun.
outside and play basketball. Outside and then back inside.
Well, everyone's got a net on their driveway.
I know. Indoor court on your property. Unless you're Michael Jordan, you don't need an indoor court on your property. Come on. That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. Hour 2 of 3 is coming up. We'll talk to John Rooney, Scott McFarlane next hour. And then we're going to talk about daylight savings time. It's getting closer to becoming a reality at 11 o'clock. We'll talk about how that's going to affect your body if it happens. Chris and Amy on KMOX.
season is heating up at Seidensterger-Nobe Partners with sizzling hot summer savings on John Deere compact tractor packages. For a limited time, get $6,600 off the S&P price on a John Deere 5050E with a loader, plus 0% financing with zero down. Find compact tractor package savings at snpartners.com. Seidensterger-Nobe, your partner for the land.
Offer valid through 8/31/2026. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
America is turning 250 this year, and Circa Sports is celebrating by offering all users in Missouri $250. For everyone in Missouri, all you have to do is deposit $250 on your Circa Sports app, then play through that deposit. Once you do, Circa Sports will reward you with $250 right in your account. This is available for everyone in Missouri, new and existing users. Celebrate 250 years and find out more at circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older and in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Honey, did you invite the minions over?
Well, you know how we talked about getting Wi-Fi from Xfinity?
Yeah.
I ordered it this morning, was online in minutes, then they showed up.
So they just came over to use the Wi-Fi? For what?
Better not to know.
Get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi from Xfinity. Plus, lock in your price for 5 years and see Minions and Monsters only in theaters. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck taxed. Your property taxed. Everything you buy taxed. Missouri's tax system isn't broken, it's rigged against you. The lawyers and lobbyists working for big corporations and the super rich buried over 200 loopholes for themselves in our tax code. While they pay nothing on the services they use, working families are taxed over and over. It's no wonder they're lying about Amendment 5. Our corrupt tax system is rigged in their favor. They're getting a free ride on your back. Don't believe their lies. The truth is, Amendment 5 closes loopholes exploited by the super rich and slashes taxes paid by Missouri's working families, phasing out income taxes and cutting property taxes. They finally pay what they owe while you keep what you earn. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 10:01, it's already 85 degrees with sunshine. I'm Debbie Monterey. Facing lawmakers for his confirmation hearing for Attorney General nominee Todd Blanche, delivering his opening remarks, emphasizing his commitment to serving his country during his time as Deputy Attorney General and later as Acting Attorney General.
That's my job, securing safety for every American.
Meanwhile, Jeffrey Epstein survivors released their own video saying Todd Blanche failed victims everywhere and he put their personal information at risk.
Todd Blanche had a duty to protect us. Instead, he protected the people who committed crimes against us. 30 years, 1,200 victims, and 6 million files. A mountain of evidence. But Todd Blanche says there are no investigative leads. Todd Blanche failed us. He failed victims everywhere.
Blanche is defending his Justice Department's handling of the Epstein files, but admits mistakes were made. 2 people facing second-degree murder charges for the shooting death of an accomplice July 9th in the Wells Goodfellow neighborhood of St. Louis.
According to the probable cause statement, 35-year-old Sarah Mincio of Webster Groves and 42-year-old Brandon Robinson of St. Louis allegedly tried to break into a boarded-up building. A witness told them to stop and said police were being called. Nearby, 44-year-old Danelle Crawford was caught pulling metal out of a private dumpster. Police say Crawford fired shots at witnesses while trying to get away, but was gunned down by one of the witnesses in self-defense. The circuit attorney's office charged Sarah Mencio and Brandon Robinson with murder during perpetration of a felony, as well as attempted second-degree burglary counts. Brad Choate, KMOX News.
The St. Louis Sports Commission is a privately funded group that's been tasked with bringing big competitions here since 1989. Commission President Mark Schreiber tells KMOX the work is fulfilling.
When we have an event like the U.S. Figure Skating Championships or the Frozen Four, the men's basketball tournament, and what it does to energize our region economically, but also that psyche of the pride it instills.
The St. Louis Board of Aldermen recently allocated $2.5 million from the Rams Settlement Fund to the Sports Commission. Schreiber says that'll be used to create a sustainable fund for bidding, with event proceeds restocking the coffers. If you're thinking about lunch, today is National Hot Dog Day. Steve's Hot Dogs combining that day with its 18th anniversary celebration. They have a bunch of celebrity collaboration dogs available today, including the Rennie Knott dog and $2 off all classic menu hot dogs.
Sunshine mixing with clouds, rather hot than humid this afternoon, high 92. Partly cloudy, warm and humid tonight, low 76. Tomorrow, times of sun and clouds and quite humid with a heavy thunderstorm in the afternoon and evening, high 90. For Friday, intervals of clouds and sunshine and remaining very humid with a shower and thunderstorm, especially in the afternoon, high 89. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
The weather sponsored by McKelvey Homes. Right now it's sunny and 85 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Chris Raunchy, Amy Markscores, because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
Well, Amy was going to start the segment, but she's got a mouthful of food. She forgot what she was doing.
No, that's because Ranj goes, whoa, look at that lady showing off the goods.
And that's why you put food in your mouth?
Well, no, I got distracted
That
with
makes
the
no
time.
sense. So the Price is Right is on
Above
one of
his
the
head.
monitors here, and I turned around and I looked at it, and there was a lady showing off the goods, the prizes. And then I wondered, is Vanna White still doing the thing?
Yes,
And she is.
she absolutely
She's 69
is.
years old now.
I thought she was 74.
She is not.
But
She's still doing
69.
Wheel of Fortune.
But she doesn't turn the letters now because they're just screens.
Yeah,
like
that's
they're touch
they
screens.
they tap them though.
Yeah, but I think it's performative. I don't think the tapping does anything.
It doesn't matter, but somebody's got to go present the letter.
Yeah, I just wish it was still, turning the letters. That's going to be my platform, is to return the Price is Right to turning the letters. Okay, the podcast Pablo Torres, what is it?
Pablo Torre finds out.
Yes,
Yeah.
Torre finds out. So it was a really interesting conversation with Dan Soder, who is a comedian. So I'm not sure how they got on the topic to begin with, but they were talking about EA Sports.
Yep, the video game company.
Yep, and how it was
That makes-
purchased.
and Madden
Yeah.
and all those really like the college football game.
And how it was purchased by private equity, which happens to be Jared Kushner and the Saudis and that group that they're in together with.
Silver Lake.
And we've had this conversation about private equity recently, and I've had a couple of experiences with companies that historically I have really liked.
Yes.
And then the quality has gone down.
Like Chipotle is a really great example of that. I think Starbucks is an example of it. And what they were talking about specifically is I don't play, and I think they were talking about the college football game, the NCAA. Actually, I forgot what it's actually called, the specific name. But they were talking about it and how, so you buy the game, and then there are paid features inside the game that you can, it's like an additional cost. So they're extracting more money from you after you've purchased this game and you think, here, I bought the college football game. Nope, well, you got to pay for this and then pay for this once you get it downloaded onto your system. And that's what they were talking about. So that was the initial part of the conversation.
Yep. And so here's what they said.
Companies have forgotten that we want to buy stuff. You don't have to shove it down our throats. You don't have to trick us. You don't have to trap us. Make good stuff and we'll buy it. all these venture capitalist groups come in and buy it. And I'm not surprised this move is happening with EA Sports, because now that Jared Kushner and the Saudi collective.
Are you mentioning perhaps the fact that there's a headline on Front Office Sports that reads literally Saudis, Silver Lake, Jared Kushner take EA private in a $55 billion deal from September of 25?
This is my advice to anyone that is kind of like me and kind of stupid walking through this world and right now going to themselves, why is everything starting to suck a lot more? Private equity, venture capitalism. No one owns the product they sell anymore. No one owns the product they buy anymore.
So
that line really stuck with me.
Because it's true.
Yep.
Let's say you have come up with this great idea that you think people need, and you invent the thing or you start the service, and your heart is in it because you created it.
Because you saw a hole in the market.
You saw something that people need.
And you found a solution. You created a solution. And yeah, you can say, well, I'm trying to make money. Of course, we're all trying to make money. But part of your heart and soul went into that whenever you create something.
So you do this, and then you get to a point after years of it being successful where you're making so much money and you're doing so well that all these capitalists come in and they go, hey, let me buy that from you. And you go, you know what? Sure. Give me a big lump of money here, and I'll go away and I'll do whatever I want because I can retire and my family's comfortable and my children and grandkids, everybody's great. So then you step away from it, and here comes this company that takes over that has no real vested interest in it other than we have the product, we have the name. Now let's see how much money we can extract from people.
You become a math problem. That's all it is it's you become a math problem.
And I don't want to say that all venture capitalists and all private equity firms are all bad and all do this, because I do think there are some that come in and think, or they have a vested interest in it for whatever reason. Maybe they have an attachment to it, an emotional attachment to the company or product, and they want to do right by it. But there are a lot that don't. And a lot of these companies that, for example, buy newspapers, they're not coming in to buy the newspaper and make it better and invest in reporting and serving the public. They're coming in like, how can we literally sell this company for parts?
Yes.
Or how can we make the most money possible? And I know this isn't a venture capitalist or a venture capital problem or private equity problem, but this makes me think of Microsoft Office, which to me is one of the first subscription services that I can think of where I was like, why is this now a subscription? Because it used to be, if you bought a laptop, bought a computer, you had Microsoft Office, Word, Excel, all that stuff on it. You used to just buy Office and you had Office. Now you have to buy it, and then you have to pay for it every year.
I pay is it $8 or $10 a month? And I forget about it because I purchased the big yellow box, the Microsoft Word, Microsoft Office box, which I then had to install with a CD on my computer, which shows you how old I am. And for years, that's what I used. That's what I used to write my books. I used Microsoft Word. And one day, I no longer had access to it on my laptop.
You get a little notification that your license is expired and you need to renew it.
I couldn't edit. I couldn't create. And I thought, I've been hacked. What's going on? It was mine on my laptop. I bought it, and suddenly I didn't own it anymore. And now I pay, I don't know, $8.99 a month, whatever it is. I think it's single digits, but whatever. It's still, I'm paying a monthly subscription to have access.
And now if you have a car, there are certain services inside your car, depending on what vehicle you own or what company, that you have to pay for. Like remote start. On my car, I can do remote start with my little fob that I have. Or if I want to put an app on my phone and start my car, I have to pay for a service for that.
Okay, please tell me that you...
And I have not, I absolutely blanking refuse to do that. It infuriates me that you... I bought a car. I spent tens of thousands on a car. I want all the stuff that comes with a car for as long as I have the car. Don't make me pay for a service. That's nonsense.
Is your car one of those that you have to pay a subscription for heated seats?
It is not.
To me, that's so offensive.
Is it a thing that is it? Is it heated seats that you turn it on from your phone? Is that what it is?
I don't know, because my car this is the one benefit of having a car that's very old. There's not a subscription for anything.
Yeah.
I think I might have OnStar, which of course I never signed up for, which has been around for decades now.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think my other option would be satellite radio, which I don't have. Because why do I need it? I have 104.1 FM KMOX and the Odyssey app.
Yeah. Now that kind of stuff I understand. I mean, I get paying for Sirius XM. That's not your car. That is a completely separate business that is projecting into your vehicle.
BMW had a subscription heated seat service, but they officially canceled it in September 2023, I think, because of outcry. You're paying what? $110,000, $80,000. Pick your BMW, pick your price.
Yeah.
And you got to pay a subscription for heated seats? So, going back to the EA Sports thing.
Yeah. Which is the same idea. You bought the game, and the games are like $80 now. Yeah. So that should be the game. You have the game. That you have everything that comes with the game. Now you got to pay for little things that you want to do inside of it?
Is it Nintendo? Or Xbox that's not selling physical games anymore?
It's Xbox, and then Sony's going that direction with PlayStation too.
GameStop's going to close. We talked about this. I mean, they didn't announce that. I'm just saying you project that if you don't have physical copies of games anymore, and even you could, you buy movies. The last time you bought a movie, I'm sure it was a subscription, or at least it was through your smart TV or whatever.
YouTube. I paid for a movie.
They could take that away, I guess, because I've signed up for streaming services because I wanted to watch a show, and then that show is no longer on that streaming service.
Yep.
And so then you cancel the streaming service. You don't really own a lot of the things that you buy now.
No, and what is just really frustrating, and I know it's not just me, and I'm sure there are some people out there who go, just pay for it and quit crying. Yeah, I get that. I can just pay for the things and quit crying. But we're already generally in our lives tired of being nickeled and dimed to death. Mm-hmm. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. The costs of everything going up. And then when you do buy the thing, sometimes you got to buy the thing and then pay for the thing again. Oh, and then you got to pay for the thing next month too. Oh, also you have to pay for it the month after that. It's just there's got to be some sort of breaking point where we stop doing all this. And I know the only way it happens is if people stop purchasing all of this crap. Or because what they're doing now, what we're all doing is just saying, oh, this sucks. Well, guess I don't have a choice. Guess I'll pay for it. And then that's why the companies keep doing it, because we keep paying for it.
We're getting suspiciously close to reinventing cable. What if we had something where all the channels, and maybe that does happen. Maybe you get to a point, maybe we get to a breaking point. We have a texter that I actually was just going to say this. If a person buys a vehicle, no matter what that vehicle has, you absolutely should have access to it. What's next? Pay a fee in your house to flip a switch?
Yep.
Could be.
I agree.
You could have to pay a microwave fee. And I get it that we're already paying for electricity, but the point is maybe there are smart houses where you're paying subscription services
and
for your smart house.
Like we
options.
said, I don't know if you can buy a new car for under $20,000 anymore. I don't think you can.
The average is 50. 50.
So
$50,000
even if you have paid only $20,000 for a car, that's a lot of money. I will die on this hill that whatever you've bought, whatever features are in the car that you've bought, you should have them in perpetuity until your car dies, and you shouldn't have to pay a subscription for them every month. It actually makes me want to say a very bad word, and I can't do it. But I think we're all getting a little sick and tired of that if we're not already just infuriated over it. Another texter, Amy, says, if buying isn't owning, piracy isn't theft. I'm not going to condone piracy. I can't tell you what to do, though.
I would pirate my heated seats.
If there was a way to,
And to your point, like I said, the average new car is over $50,000 now. And I remember we had this conversation about like the last new car for under $20,000, and it says the 2025 Nissan Versa and the 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage are virtually the last new cars sold in America with MSRPs under $20,000. It was like $19,999. And that, I don't know what the 2026 is. Might not be. There might not be a new car for under $20,000 these days.
And here's some bad news that I did not know about, but I'm going to. This is from a texter, and they are correct. Here's the text.
I know what they're going to say.
Panera Bread used to have a coffee service, which I still have for $120 a year. It used to be a cup of coffee every 2 hours. So it was coffee, soft drinks, anything that was available for tea. The Sip Club. Now they've changed it from every 2 hours to once a day. So I am not going to do the subscription anymore. And sure enough, a couple of days ago, Panera has decided to go to once a day. And that was a great service. And I thought, man, how are they making money off this? But they're getting people in the door. And here's yet another thing they are taking away from you. So I am going to declare it right now. I've had Sip Club.
Yeah.
And I don't have it currently, because I don't live near one. Well, I guess I do, but I don't go to it enough. I was always going to, in my mind, if I got near a Panera, if I moved near a Panera again, I'm getting the Sip Club. You're out. You're done. Sorry, Panera.
So here's the thing.
Sorry, you're out.
I found out about this literally a couple days ago because I was running with my buddy, and he said, well, I'm off to Panera to get my one coffee today. And I said, what do you mean? He said, yep, because I've been a member of the Sip Club forever, and it used to be
Every couple of
hours you could get, a drink. And I get it. Who's going to Panera multiple times a day every few hours? It's kind of on principle. And so he said, now I only get one coffee a day. Is it still saving money? Absolutely. $120 a year for one coffee a day is, that's like 4 trips to Starbucks.
Yeah.
And so it's still saving money. He just said apparently when they rolled back the feature, they said they were just losing too much money.
Oh, screw them. I don't believe them for a second. And I think overall they're probably making quite a bit of money. And it's just another example of, can't we have one good deal? There's got to be. Nobody gives a good deal anymore. Give me one good deal. Tell me what it is.
The Cardinals all-you-can-eat section.
Yeah, that's pretty good if you can get those tickets. Because the really inexpensive ones, I think, run out pretty quickly. But yeah, you get those, great deal.
Yeah.
What else you got? Let us know. 314-436-7900. Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Listen up. If you have not paid self-employment, business, or individual taxes in years, the IRS will find you. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. I offer real solutions. If you have unfiled returns, unpaid taxes, levies, or liens, call me, Lance Story, today and let me get between you and the IRS. I'll protect your rights, including your right to appeal or even your right to take the IRS to tax court. At the Lance Story Law Firm, our practice is focused 100% on fighting the IRS. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems, and they need to be handled by an expert attorney who's done it for decades. So call the Lance Story Law Firm today. We're local. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This year, America celebrates 250 years. 2.5 centuries of courage, sacrifice, and family stories passed down from one generation to the next. Hi, I'm Nick Mako.
And I'm Adam Baselogger, founders of Legacy Box. Your family's piece of the American story is sitting in an attic or closet right now, trapped on aging VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, film reels, and fading photos.
Those boxes hold moments you can never recreate. Your wedding day, your children's voices when they were little, grandparents coming back to life on screen.
Over 2 million families have trusted Legacy Box. And we've just partnered with the USO to digitize fragile handwritten letters from World War II, helping preserve American history for future generations.
As America turns 250, remember that your family is a part of the American story. Preserving those voices, faces, and moments is a part of your responsibility to the next generation. Don't let them disappear on your watch.
Visit legacybox.com/radio for our amazing America 250 sale. That's legacybox.com/radio to save.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This has been a test of the emergency alert system. This was only a test.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog!
Customize! Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct. To the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
What has your candidate actually delivered? In Clayton, Ladue, Olivet, and Warson Woods, there's just one Democrat running for state representative who can answer. That's Sidney Clark. As mayor, he's delivered more than $100 million in economic growth and some of the strongest home values in the region. Balanced budgets, steady leadership, a neighbor since 1973. And now, Sidney Clark will protect what you've built, stopping costly data centers from hiking your utility bills, and voting no on Amendment 5, which actually increases taxes on everything you buy. No other candidate in this race can say it. Sidney Clark has already done the job, and he's ready from day one. Sidney Clark, results, not rhetoric. Democrat for State Representative District 99.
I'm Sidney Clark, and I approve of this message. Paid for by Sidney Clark for State Representative District 99. Tammy Clark, Treasurer.
As America celebrates its 250th anniversary, Steve Butts and everyone at Crawford Butts Insurance wish everyone a safe and joyful summer, proudly serving the community for generations. Happy 250th, America.
One city, one voice. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. Text the show, 314-436-7900. John Rooney is going to join us at 10:30, just after 10:30. Scott McFarland from Midas Touch, Chief Washington correspondent, will be with us at 10:45, and that's how we're going to finish up the hour, Amy.
Do you want to hear me speak out of both sides of my mouth?
Sure.
So we were
Well, I
complaining.
mean, why would that be different?
That's rude.
Yeah.
It's not unfair, though. I disagree with myself all the time.
Sometimes you start a thought, and then at the end of the thought, you completely
disagree.
Yeah.
I persuade myself.
Yeah.
I think that's talent, honestly. That's how good of an arguer
No, you know
I
what
am.
it is? It's you going through the process on air instead of figuring it out first.
Because sometimes for me, talking is thinking. And until I start saying it out loud.
I get it.
So, I signed up for that Angel streaming service because I wanted
Which is kind of like Hallmark, right?
Yeah. Well, I thought it was like Hallmark, but they do like PG-13, which Hallmark wouldn't do. They did the Young Washington
Angel's
movie.
a little
Racy.
scandalous, huh?
Scandalous. So because I wanted to see the show Seeking Persephone because I got sucked in from all the Instagram advertisements and it was kind of like Pride and Prejudice feel. But there's actually some legit movies and like real actors in the movies. So like with Hallmark, it's all like B-list actors, obviously, but there are some Hollywood people in some of these movies, but they did Young Washington. So some of their movies are straight to streaming and some of their movies are in the theater. But they did the Bonhoeffer movie, which I love the story of Bonhoeffer. He was a German pastor who became a double agent to help with the plot to kill Hitler. So true story. And he spoiler.
This isn't the Valkyrie story?
Well, it's actually part of it. It's not the Valkyrie story. It's like he was ancillary. It was actually his brother-in-law who was part of the Valkyrie. So you kind of hear a little bit about it, but really the Bonhoeffer story is about this pastor. And he ends up being killed. He is sent to an extermination camp, and then he ends up being killed, but he gives his life fighting the Nazis in Germany. And of all things, Flula Borg's in it.
The comedian.
Yes.
The German
but
comedian.
He's not a comedian in this movie.
He's very funny.
He plays Bonhoeffer's brother-in-law. I think he plays the Valkyrie guy in the movie. But this is actually a legit movie that did come to theaters. So that was Angel. So I actually want to see that. And then I saw an advertisement for a movie called Cabrini about Francesca Cabrini, the nun who came to New York initially, and they just showed the horrific, racist and prejudiced stuff that was said against her and the Italians
Yeah.
who
Oh,
came
yeah.
to New York. And she even created like a children's home to help kids. And they were like fighting and burning down the children's home. And just this incredible life of this woman, this nun who fought, for the underserved, for children, while she herself was facing discrimination. And I think John Lithgow's in that movie.
Oh.
But that's an angel film too. And I'm like, I kind of want to see this. It looked really well made.
And then she ultimately had one of the worst the worst housing projects in America named after her.
Cabrini Green.
Cabrini Green.
Yeah.
But she built a hospital in Chicago, and she faced a lot of racism when she went there.
Yeah.
And then that's where the Cabrini Green eventually, that it wasn't her project. It was named for her.
Yeah.
In part for her. But yeah, like Italians used to face that racism not like they were white people. They used to face it like the folks who get it now. So if you're from a Latin American country, you might face racism. Certainly, we have African Americans here who still face it, but they used to get it like that. Irish people too. So I'm always amazed with a modern person who lives in this country who is Irish, of Irish descent or Italian descent, who don't realize that. And maybe they treat somebody else as an other. And I'm not saying they all do, because they don't, obviously, but there are people who do, and that fascinates me. Like, how can you not understand your own ancestors, what they went through, and not have some empathy for new immigrants? I don't understand that.
Well, I am looking forward to watching this movie. And like I said, Greg Kinnear's in one of the movies. I can't remember.
Greg Kinnear.
I know. It's like a dystopian movie. I guess it's like either it's biological warfare or because now I'm getting all the advertisements, but people are eating and all of a sudden you hear this loud boom and the whole sky is orange and everyone's like looking at each other and the dad's like calling his wife. He's like, go downstairs, go downstairs.
Yeah.
So it's some kind of dystopian. And I thought, my goodness, they are pumping out the films, but some of them, looked pretty good. I might keep this service for a month or two. I thought I was going to cancel it the next day.
I'm not paying for it. Give me your login. I'm going to check some of these things out.
It's 1, 2, 3.
All-Star game happened yesterday. 3 Cardinals participated, and we're a couple of days away from the Major League season resuming. We will talk to John Rooney, voice of the Cardinals, when we come back on KMOX.
Cardinals fans want to talk baseball, they turn to the Gas House Gang. Tom Ackerman, Chris Ranji, Mike Claiborne, and Bernie Miklasz bring insights, analysis, and opinions that fuel the conversation. And every Tuesday, Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol pulls back the curtain on his decisions and his team's performance. The Gas House Gang is the sports show sports fans can't miss. Hear it weekdays at noon on your home for the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
Remember how I said there were no clouds outside Studio B? Some giant puffy clouds have rolled in. It's 89 degrees. Feels like 106. Hazy sunshine today, a high of 93. Tonight, partly cloudy and humid, a low of 74. Weather sponsored by i3 Broadband. When the kids get home for the summer, your house is a digital zoo of streaming and gaming. Switch to i3 Broadband and upgrade your summer. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 1-866-806-5485 to upgrade today because life runs better on fiber and i3 Broadband is here for you.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Think buying a home is out of reach? Think again. Scott Credit Union has down payment options as low as zero money down. Your new home could be closer than you think. Visit scu.org today. Equal housing lender, NMLS 415767. Terms and conditions apply.
Most sellers put their home on the market and just wait to see what happens. This is Debbie Monterey. I'm with Gloria Liu, your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria, is there a better way to sell?
There is. Instead of listing your home the traditional way and hoping for the right buyer, I can get you up to 8 competitive cash offers right from the start. That means you're not guessing what your home might sell for. You're looking at the real offers and choosing the one that works the best for you. It also helps you to set the right price and create stronger demand if you decide to go to market. It gives you control, leverage, and a clear path forward before you accept just any offer. And remember, I'll guarantee to sell your home at 100% of the market value, or I'll pay you the difference.
Before you sell your home, see what your options are. Call the one I trust, Gloria Liu, 314-325-6888, or visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. That's gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Now, the Cardinals Conversation on KMOX. Sponsored by Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance. We are Missouri Farm Bureau Insurance, and we've got Missouri covered.
Riley O'Brien kicks, he deals. Strike three call for a Redbird winner. Light it up in downtown St. Louis as the Cardinals beat the Atlanta Braves by a score of 4-1, and they've won the first 2 games against Atlanta, winning this series, leading to the All-Star break.
We are looking forward to post-All-Star break baseball, which will happen on Friday. The Cardinals are going to get back at it after this All-Star game has come to an end. They will be on the road in Arizona, so a late game on Friday night. And that voice you just heard will be on the call. We go to the Quiver River Electric guest line today. John Rooney, who is the voice of the Cardinals, joins the show. Good morning, John. How are you?
Doing fine, Chris.
Hey, are you enjoying the break? What happens for John Rooney during the All-Star break?
Very little of anything.
It's nice.
That's the whole idea as we get right back into it on Friday. But it has been a nice break, taking in the home run derby and watching the All-Star game last night, checking in every now and then. And excuse me, I thought it was interesting how the old saying, "You're only as good as that night's starting pitcher," held true in the All-Star game last night. Sanchez gave up the first inning runs, and Cease was a little bit better, setting the tone for the American League, and that's the way the game went.
You know, John, Ranj made a great comparison that with all the World Cup fans from all over the world, you know, Europe and South America coming to the United States and loving what they're seeing, and it's been fun for us to say, hey, look at all our stuff. That's kind of how we felt with Jordan Walker in the home run derby. It was fun to see people all over the country and fans of all these other teams get to see Jordan Walker, not just his home run performance, but also his personality, his family, his parents. I felt so proud and excited for people to see him.
And I think we experienced something that we haven't talked much about in his first part of the season, where he became an all-star after going through so many trials just to get to where he is right now. It's the mental toughness that he brings to the game. How do you hit 6 home runs in a row in that environment to beat Kyle Schwarber in his home ballpark? I mean, that takes some mental toughness just to step up to the plate and go pitch by pitch. But what he's done to turn things around, I mean, he was a most valuable player in the Texas League when he played at Springfield. He didn't go to AAA before coming to the big leagues, but had to go back to AAA to make adjustments and had to go through so much this past offseason just to get ready for 2026. And where Jordan Walker has come, how he seems so relaxed. And Oliver Marmol pointed out there was a calmness in Jordan Walker at the plate to be able to perform in that home run derby. And I think there's a calmness at the plate that has carried him to this point in 2026.
And there's another thing that happened during that All-Star game. And, you know, Philadelphia, as you know, is a very different crowd, and they boo everybody. And they really gave it to him. And there was a moment late where they showed Ollie on the field, and he was really, like, just enjoying all the booing that Walker was getting, because there's this recognition that, hey, first of all, it's fun, and the fans are intense, but now Phillies fans know who Jordan Walker is. And I think that, for me, was one of the great things about it. He got booed during the lineups last night when they announced the lineups, which it's great because now the Cardinals have a player that the rest of the country knows who he is, and they got to watch out for.
Well, he did a lot for Cardinal baseball to bring back a lot of great feelings about Cardinal baseball, and he did that leading up to the All-Star break. But what happened with Home Run Derby just put all that over the top. It's kind of like Yadier Molina in Cincinnati. And one of my favorite experiences with Yadi in Cincinnati, on opening day one year after Yadi had lost so much weight, they didn't boo him the first time up because they didn't recognize him, I don't think. But the next time up, they were the Cincinnati fans were back in full chorus, giving it to Yadier Molina because Yadi had done so much to beat them over the years. But Jordan Walker certainly established his place as a Philadelphia fan favorite to boo, right up there with Santa Claus.
That's right. That's some great company.
At least they didn't throw batteries at him, so
geez, yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. You know,
well, I mean, that I experienced that in Cleveland with Albert Bell, where they were throwing batteries at him when he came back after he left Cleveland to go to Chicago.
Wait, so what did they do, like during the game or while he was walking off the field? What happened?
Oh, they were throwing things on the field while he was out in left field. When Albert Bell came back?
Goodness.
What was your relationship like with him? Was he a jerk to you?
Wasn't good.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Wasn't good.
Okay.
Oh.
Nope.
Yeah, he was
good. And I'll leave it at that.
John wasn't jumping in front of any batteries.
I don't think it was good with too many people. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, but what a great hitter. You can't take that away from any athlete that puts up numbers the way he did. And the guy had 52 doubles, and I think he had 50 home runs one year for Cleveland. I mean, that's incredible.
He was a really, really good hitter, but apparently not the friendliest person on earth.
Oh, man.
John Rooney, we are looking forward to baseball coming back, and that will happen on Friday night. You will be in Arizona. Enjoy your last day off. I assume that you're traveling tomorrow, so enjoy it.
Will do. I appreciate it. And you guys have a great week, what's left of it. And the Arizona series is going to be interesting. They're coming off a sweep of the Dodgers, and the Cardinals are coming off a series win over Atlanta. So it's going to be a nice little showdown in the Valley of the Sun.
Yeah, and then the Diamondbacks are probably not very happy. They'll play these three. Then
they can get over it.
Yeah, and then they got to come to St. Louis on the 23rd for a makeup game. I know they were not happy with that schedule.
Complain to the commissioner about the schedule. That's all I can say is you cram these games in against teams that come into your city one time, and they won a day game. I mean, there was no guarantee it wasn't going to rain during the day that day. So get over it. We've had to go back a couple of times to other places to play games on days off. It's just part of the game. When the season's over, then you worry about the next season. And if you can't endure that during the regular season, as pitching coach Cott Deal, when I was with Oklahoma City, my first year doing minor league baseball, and I had to do most of the games by myself. And we got to the end of the 136-game schedule about a week ago. I'm saying, and we weren't playing well. And I said, I'm beginning to wear down like a lot of the players. And he looked at me, our old pitching coach, Scott Deal, said, you didn't have to sign up for this, you know. And that's the way I approach it, because it's part of the schedule. And he's right. You didn't have to sign up for it. And what a great life we have anyway, getting to go to the ballpark and play baseball. Yeah, there are some inconveniences. And I found Leonard Coppett, the great Hall of Fame writer, always had a saying, whatever will inconvenience the masses will take place. And he's right.
That's right.
It's whatever happens, they'll put everybody out. But in the end, if you have great games and the presentation lives up to what we've seen so far with this season, it's been exciting, and it's going to be a good run the rest of the way. I'm looking forward to it.
John, enjoy Arizona. Watch out for the javelinas, and we will talk again soon.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye-bye.
John Rooney, voice of the Cardinals. Yes, 8:40 is the first pitch on Friday night, and it's the first of a 3-game series, 6-game road trip for the Cardinals. That's how they will start the post-All-Star break. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX. Scott McFarland joins the show when we come back.
At Missouri Farm Bureau Health Plans, your health is our commitment. That's why we provide high-quality health coverage at affordable rates to Missourians like you. And unlike other options, you can apply at any time throughout the year. From individual and family plans to dental vision coverage, our plan options are designed to meet your needs. Together we care, together we grow, together we thrive. Missouri Farm Bureau Health Plans. Plan on us. Visit us at mofbhealthplans.com and contact your agent today.
The Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum is the official home of Cardinals history. For those who want to be a part of one of the sport's greatest collections in the world, museum membership is the way to go. Cardinals Museum membership provides unlimited admission for 1 year, exclusive Hall of Fame bobbleheads, discounts, ticket offers, and more, in addition to supporting exhibit design and artifact restoration. There are a variety of membership levels, including our ultimate level of membership. For more info and to join, go to cardinals.com/membership.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And the match is about to begin.
Most of the team is out with COVID-19, so there'll be some substitutes tonight.
What's this? We have an unexpected guest on the field.
It's a dog. Well, they could do with extra players.
She's going for the ball.
Are front paws hands or feet?
Soccer season is full of surprises, and COVID-19 could be one of them. If you test positive, prescription medications may help. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Learn more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If you're having a major project done at your house, it can be a long process. It can be kind of tedious or frustrating, and hopefully, though, when it's all done, you can stand back and look and think, oh my gosh, this is an incredible improvement. Sometimes it doesn't work that way, though, if you choose the wrong company. That's why I'm telling you that if you're thinking about a major project in your outdoor space, even a minor project, call Chesterfield Fence and Deck, because Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best. They only use the highest quality products. They have their own installation crews with years of experience. That is extremely important. And Chesterfield Fence and Deck has been around for 58 years, a quality company, and they offer value. They're not going to be your cheapest bid, but they're going to be the best, and it's going to last for years to come. So you can stand back and think, money well spent. They'll offer you 48 months interest-free financing if you mention me, Debbie Monterey. Stop by and visit them or visit them online right now at chesterfieldfence.com. Chesterfield Fence and Deck.
I'm John Morgan. There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan. For the people.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX. Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Every Wednesday, we talk to Scott McFarland, Chief Washington Correspondent for Midas Touch. He is a friend of the show, and he's with us now. Good morning, Scott.
Chris and Amy, point of personal privilege, if I can.
Uh-oh.
Mrs. McFarland is walking around the St. Louis Zoo today after discovering the Gateway Arch in Redbird Village last night and falling in love with it.
Scott, can we tell you that the zoo, I don't know if you know this, and you can relay it to her, was named by USA Today the best free attraction in the world?
Here's the thing. She's already discovered that today, and she doesn't listen to me when I tell her things. So you got those two different items there.
That is incredible. Well, I hope she knows that the art museum that's there in Forest Park, the history museum, they're all free, just like the zoo.
And she's going to need the air conditioning by afternoon, I can tell.
Yeah, she probably needs it already. It's pretty bad out there. Okay, hey, Scott, I was watching this video yesterday of Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett giving details about the very graphic and terrifying threats that she and her family have received. Supreme Court Justice Elena Kagan was also there to testify, both justices asking for increased security for these justices. Do we know that? What do you know about these testimonies? And then also if it will be bipartisan agreement that, the Supreme Court justices need to be protected?
Yeah, it's one of the rare bipartisan things here. And for the first time in 7 years, Supreme Court justices testified before Congress. They rarely do that. So clearly there's an issue here. I looked through the U.S. Marshals records. It's not just that there's been an increase in threats against federal judges. It's like orders of magnitude increase. It's out of control. It's probably a symptom of this uniquely divisive, toxic political moment we're in. None of this is acceptable. And I think they're going to get the money they're looking for, which is tens of millions of dollars more, because they need round-the-clock security now. It may seem crazy to you, but a few years ago, they did not.
Right.
She gave a detail about she has a bulletproof vest that she brought into her home and had to explain to her son why she needs it.
She had to talk to her kids about that. And it's not just that that's unacceptable. Clearly it is. It's that the members of Congress are distinctively sympathetic, the ones who have to pay for this security, because they're getting it too. I mean, public service right now in Washington is a dangerous business, and the justices, I think, lent voice to that pretty effectively, Amy.
Todd Blanche is the pick for the Trump administration to become the permanent attorney general, or the, I guess, official attorney general. And during his hearing, he said something about the anti-weaponization fund, that it is dead completely. And we heard that reporting from earlier that $1.8 billion, because it was struck down by a judge. So with that being the case, what happens next and what does it mean?
Nobody's satisfied by his verbal assurances the slush fund's dead. When I say nobody, I mean, yeah, all the Democrats, but also some of the Republicans. I was watching, Chris, as John Cornyn, Republican senator from Texas, was trying to pin him down on this. Like, you keep saying this thing is dead. Why can't you put it in writing? Todd Blanche is making the argument that he's restricted from putting it in writing by separation of powers, but it's really the sticking point for this confirmation. If there's anything that's going to derail this, it's the slush fund.
Hey, Scott, with earlier this week, President Trump saying, you know what? The United States is going to control the Strait of Hormuz, and we're going to charge a 20% fee. And then Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, steps up and says, well, actually, you can't do that. That's illegal. Do you find Marco Rubio is perhaps the one somewhat counterbalancing voice in the midst of this conflict with Iran? And then how much is Trump listening to him and for some reason not being threatened by him?
Oh, lots of good questions. I think we all can agree Marco Rubio seems to be picking his spots judiciously on the war in Iran. I mean, we're at war right now in the Middle East, and we only hear from the Secretary of State intermittently. I feel like that's by design. He's picking his spots to pick his fights where he can, make his battles where he can. He's not so much a dissenting voice as he is a contrarian voice on what could happen next. Doesn't seem to me like there's any easy exit strategy from this, and everybody's kind of coming to terms with that on their own timetables. But Marco Rubio is the one who would bridge the gap for peace. I mean, he's the Secretary of State, and he has unique credibility with all the players involved.
Scott MacFarlane is with us on KMOX, and the president announced that he is going to give a speech tomorrow at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern. And some of the reporting is that he's going to declare that the two Democratic senators from Georgia are illegitimate as part of that speech. What do we know about what he's going to say tomorrow and the purpose of it?
Oh, boy, there's a lot there, Chris. And first of all, let me apologize for the noise behind me. I'm actually at the Todd Blanche confirmation hearings. And at Senate confirmation hearings, the people outside are like second grade class students with a substitute teacher. It's out of control every time.
Well, we appreciate you anyway.
They're passionate about government, Chris. So the 8 p.m. speech tomorrow is something the president's trying to tease. He's saying it's going to be big, but he won't say what big is. He's also making clear he's going to fold in some other remarks in addition to things about the election. So maybe he talks about the war. But every time he brings up the 2020 election, it risks becoming more white noise, because we have all heard Trump talk for 6 years about his thoughts on the 2020 election, and nobody's going to be persuaded, I think, either way, off their thoughts on that election. So he can use a primetime platform to do so, but he's got two risks here. First of all, he risks people saying no to airing it. I'm not sure all the broadcast networks have committed to airing this thing, thinking there may not be enough news to warrant the primetime airwaves. Secondly, there's a really important election ahead in Georgia for the U.S. Senate. It's probably the pivotal race if Republicans want to keep the Senate. This is basically an in-kind campaign donation to Jon Ossoff, the Democrat. I mean, what more can Trump do to funnel energy, money, and a galvanized base behind Jon Ossoff and get on TV and claim Ossoff's illegitimate? I don't know who that persuades. And that, to me, is the big question. Who's he trying to convince here, and what could he possibly offer to convince people?
Scott MacFarlane, we appreciate our conversations with you. We hope your wife is having a nice time in St. Louis, or continues to. We know she is. And we want you to enjoy that Attorney General confirmation hearing, because that sounds like a delight.
She's getting the better end of it unequivocally, Chris.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you both.
Scott MacFarlane joins us every Wednesday here on 104.1 FM KMOX. And if you see Scott's wife, be nice to her. She's out and about. She said she loved Ballpark Village. She loved the Arch. She's at the zoo, enjoying the zoo.
And she's going to go to the art museum for free because it's air conditioned and it has an incredible collection of work. She could see the armory, not the data center armory, but like the literal armory
the actual
where there's
armor.
there's armor in the art museum. I mean, some of those weapons.
There's a history museum?
Art museum.
It's in the art museum?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I
Like
know
the
this
spiky
much.
ball from the Middle Ages.
Maybe next week we should talk to her instead. We'll get a report.
Yeah.
We'll get a book report on what she thinks of St. Louis. What do you think of daylight saving time? Because some people love it so much they want it to be permanent, and so does the House of Representatives. They voted for it, so we're one step closer to permanent daylight saving time being a reality. We're going to find out how that affects your body. We'll talk to a professor of biology at Wash U, Eric Herzog, when we come back on KMOX.
You know, I'm always talking about taking care of everybody else. The kids, the family, the job, the house, the calendar. But today, I want to talk about you taking care of you. Because if you don't take care of you, who's going to take care of them? What if you could better understand your risk for chronic disease before symptoms begin? Simon Cancer Center has a tool called Your Disease Risk, and it does just that. It helps you get a better understanding of your risk for chronic disease and cancer before symptoms even start. It looks at things like lifestyle, family history, everyday habits, nutrition, physical activity, tobacco use, sleep, and screenings. Because your health story is shaped by more than just genetics. And knowledge is powerful. When you know your risk, you can make better choices, ask better questions, and the ability to take actions early. Listen, it only takes a few minutes, but it can help guide decisions that matter for years to come. Prevention starts with awareness, and awareness starts with you. Visit sitement.washu.edu/YDR and take the Your Disease Risk Assessment today. Just a few minutes a day could make a difference for years to come. That website again is sitement.washu.edu/YDR.
Look who has extra pep in their step.
Well, I just finished my to-do list. Gas tank is full, tonight's dinner plans are set, grocery shopping is complete, and I even got everything for those barbecues and pool parties we have planned. You know what's even better?
What?
Every one of those stops gets me a bit of money back.
How are you doing that?
By using Upside.
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app where I earn cash back on gas, groceries, and dining out. They even gave me a cashback bonus on my first grocery trip.
So that extra pep comes from all that cash back. Looks like I need to download Upside.
You really do.
Earn cash back on errands and everyday essentials. Download Upside and use promo code TUNEIN5 to earn an extra $5 cash back on your first purchase at one of over 100,000 available locations. That's promo code TUNEIN5 for an extra $5 cash back. Remember, use promo code TUNEIN5.
Offers vary by user and location at participating merchants. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Soldiers Memorial Military Museum looks at American military history through the lens of St. Louis. From the Revolutionary War to the present day, the galleries showcase stories of local service members and delve into the city's wartime history. Outside, the Court of Honors includes monuments to those who lost their lives in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Admission is free. Find information about special exhibits at mohistory.org/memorial. That's mohistory.org/memorial.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
It is 11:01 with sunshine and 87 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. Senators on Capitol Hill today grilling Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche in his confirmation hearing to make the position permanent, including tough questions about the Epstein investigation. Here's ABC's Peter Charalambos.
It is interesting to see how Blanche is responding, in particular to questions about the Epstein affair, where there's this bipartisan criticism at times. And we're actually hearing at times new things from Blanche that kind of contradict his past statements. For example, he tried to defend the fact that he hasn't been meeting personally with Epstein victims. He says by law he's not allowed to do that, or by policy, which is kind of a newer explanation. He also claimed that the DOJ is willing to investigate claims brought by Epstein victims. That contradicts remarks he made about 6 months ago, where he basically said the Department of Justice no longer has open investigations into Epstein.
During a hearing in front of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence today, Director of National Intelligence nominee Jay Clayton faced some grilling from Maine Senator Angus King over the 2020 election.
Who won the 2020 election?
as I said to you, we went through our processes, and Joe Biden became the president of the United States. And
That's not an answer to the question.
Lawmakers also asked about his role in subpoenas issued to New York Times journalists last week over their reporting on security concerns over Trump's new Qatari-gifted Air Force One. Some people sickened in a multi-state parasite outbreak report eating at Taco Bell before symptoms began.
Multiple media reports say investigators are examining whether lettuce or other salad greens are tied to thousands of cyclosporiasis cases. In a statement released on social media, Taco Bell says it has temporarily removed some ingredients at select locations as a precaution and says health leaders have not confirmed a link to the chain or any specific product. Matt Pilger, Missouri Net.
A national animal welfare group says it's seeing gains when it comes to slowing the sale of puppies bred and raised in inhumane conditions. 10 states, including Illinois, and more than 500 cities and counties across the country have banned the sale of puppies in pet stores. John Goodwin with Humane World for Animals says even with regulation, there are still issues.
What do those regulations actually say? And a USDA licensed puppy mill can legally keep dogs in cages that are only 6 inches longer than their body. They can legally keep dogs in these cages where they're just standing on wire flooring their entire lives with their paws never touching grass. They can legally breed them every heat cycle until their body wears out.
Goodwin says high-volume breeders are typically focused on quantity of puppies, not maintaining the quality of the breed.
Sunny to partly cloudy and rather hot and humid for the afternoon hours. High 92. Partly cloudy, warm and muggy tonight, though 76. Quite humid tomorrow with times of sun and clouds. Also a heavy thunderstorm in places during the afternoon and evening hours. The high 90. On Friday, remaining very humid with intervals of clouds and sun. Look for a shower and thunderstorm. Best chance in the afternoon, the high 89. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Sunshine and 87 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Honey, I found the one.
Oh, I thought I was the one.
Oh, you are, but this one's certified, background check, shows up on time, and can install all the ceiling fans.
Heating, cooling, electrical, and plumbing. Trusted pros who do it right.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Well, it feels like we have been hearing for years that daylight saving time needs to be permanent. That let's just have one thing and let's not switch up the times twice a year. That it's just confusing and it's bad for you and it's stupid and it was for farmers back in the day and we don't need it any longer. Well, the House of Representatives did vote for a measure, overwhelmingly, in fact, to move this forward. And now goes to the Senate, and there might be quite a bit of pushback against it in the Senate. So we don't know if it's going to pass or not, but it has moved forward. And we are curious, since there are so many implications, economic implications, agricultural, there are all sorts of things. And the thing that we all are thinking about is how does it affect us personally? How does it affect our bodies? Well, we are joined now on the Quiver River Electric guest line by Professor of Biology Eric Herzog, Victor Hamburger, Distinguished Professor in Arts and Sciences at Washington University here in St. Louis. And we talked to Eric Herzog on the show. It's good to have you with us. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks.
All right, so is permanent DST going to kill us or what?
It won't kill us, but it'll make life far more miserable for a lot of people.
Oh, okay. Why?
So the idea is that during permanent daylight saving time, we switch to the schedule that we're all familiar with, especially during the summers. And during the summers, we've moved the light schedule in a way so that we have more light in the afternoons and less light in the morning. And so that was just a way we set the clock to live our lives. And when they set up the time zones in the United States originally, they set them up so that in the middle of each time zone at around noon, the sun would be directly overhead. And with daylight saving time, it shifts that position of the sun so that folks actually have dark mornings and bright afternoons. And for a lot of people, that sounds great. They associate daylight saving time with summertime. But it turns out that humans need light in the morning to synchronize to local time and to ensure that they get enough sleep at night. And that may be confusing, but we actually need light to synchronize our circadian clock. It's a biological clock that operates inside of us. And if we don't get that light in the morning, if we are getting up in the dark, requiring ourselves to use an alarm clock to wake up, we're waking up unnaturally, and we're actually curtailing sleep. And there are a lot of negative consequences on our health, our safety, and even on things like our economics, our performance at work.
And this is what the Herzog Lab, or one of the things, the Herzog Lab at WashU, your lab, studies, which is my understanding. And it is also my understanding that in our time zone where we are, that we could be looking at, in the winter, if this were to be permanent, then in the winter we would be looking at darkness up until almost 8 o'clock in the morning. Is that right in the winter?
Yeah, that's right. Good job. In fact, we would have over 100 more days of dark commutes to work if we were on permanent daylight saving time compared to permanent standard time.
This is so depressing to me. And I just saw it as well because of the positioning of Detroit, Michigan. The sun wouldn't come up until 9:01. In Detroit, Michigan on the worst days. So, okay, this is like making me feel sick to my stomach. Now, the United States tried this back in 1974, and they passed it, and it was supposed to be an experimental 2 years with the daylight savings time thing. But it was repealed after just a few months because it was a disaster and Americans hated it. Did we think that maybe we've changed our minds or our preferences since then?
I don't think there's anybody who thinks that the science has changed. So all the scientific and medical societies that have taken a position on this issue have advocated for permanent standard time, not the current bill that would put permanent daylight saving time. I think the main motivations now are political first. The history of getting this bill through is to satisfy a particular Republican House representative, and some economic arguments. So the big lobbies for golf and candy are, especially in Florida, advocating for permanent daylight saving time because they see the opportunity to make more money with people getting out of work and being able to go play outside, go golfing.
There it is. There it is. Because
frustrating.
The question I was going to ask is, and this was my thought, not permanent daylight saving time. Why not do the permanent standard time? It makes more sense for all of us. And you kind of answered the question. Why would we advocate for the worst option if we're going to do this at all?
Yeah, I think there's also the subtlety that people get confused, including our representatives. So they think of daylight saving time as summertime. And so they're like, well, that's great. I love daylight saving time.
We should have more light all the time.
Yeah. And in fact, in the United States, we have 9 months of the year already on daylight saving time for most states. There are 2 states that are on permanent standard time. You probably know this, in Hawaii and Arizona. And there are lots of really clever scientific studies comparing people who are living on permanent standard time in those places to people living nearby on daylight saving time. And the evidence is really quite compelling that, you have lower rates of cancer and improved performance at work and fewer car accidents when living on standard time.
Okay, so
go ahead.
No, go if you had to, sorry, finish up, please.
I could go for hours, please. I'd rather hear your question.
Well, you were talking about like this misunderstanding. How much of the misunderstanding is predicated on the simple fact that it's called daylight saving time? And you're thinking, well, that's good. We want to save the daylight. Why not? Like, what would be if you could rename it for it to be a truer representation of what it actually is? Do you have a different name for it? Because maybe the name itself, people hear it and think, well, obviously that's a good thing. Daylight saving, save the day.
You're making the day longer, but we can't make the day longer. The light is the light.
Yeah,
the sun is the sun.
What would you name it, or how would you phrase it to, be a truer representation of what it actually is?
You're asking a scientist to brand a product. This is a good challenge. So the alternate bill that is actually that is in the House and should be considered and has a number of representatives who have signed on to it is called SOKA, SOKA, and I think it stands for Save Our Kids Act, for the very reason you listed, that the idea is that kids waiting in the morning for their school bus on daylight saving time are waiting in the dark. And in 1974, unfortunately, 4 children were killed while waiting for the bus in daylight saving time. And that's what ended the permanent daylight saving time experiment in 1974. So I think the motivator here is thinking about who does permanent standard time benefit. And we really do think it dramatically improves outcomes, especially for our young citizens. Those folks who, will tell you, oh, late birds prefer daylight saving time. That's actually a miscommunication. That's not true. It's true that late birds like to wake up later, but they don't want to necessarily wake up later relative to everybody else. They just want to wake up later relative to when they need to go to work. So if we can make it so that everybody's waking up naturally, according to the light-dark cycle, and getting to work on time, that's a benefit to all. And we think that standard time will do that for the vast majority of folks. One of my favorite ways to illustrate this is to think about teenagers who are having a hard time waking up early in the morning, and they struggle to go to school on time. If you take those same teenagers camping, they wake up naturally earlier in the morning, and they go to bed naturally earlier in the evening. And the big thing that's changed is not the clock on the wall, but the fact that they're experiencing the bright outside light in the morning and the dark outside light at night. And what that ends up doing is shifting them to be earlier birds naturally.
So the act you were talking about is the Sunshine for Our Kids Act, and that's a bipartisan bill, HR 9638, and that was proposed, I believe, this month. Actually, so does anybody in politics ever ask you your opinion on this, or does the scientific community ever really get asked how they feel about this, and if so, what's the input?
Yeah, I would say yes. So the House representative who put forward SOKA is House Representative Scanlon.
Yep,
and
out of Pennsylvania.
Out of Pennsylvania, thank you. And she has been working with an organization called the Coalition for Standard Time, and a nonprofit organization called Save. I'm terrible with all these acronyms. Save Standard Time, and she has been working with a variety of scientific and medical societies to understand the science and convey that to representatives and senators. There's some surprising advocates for standard time who are sort of standing up against their political parties. So Tom Cotton is an interesting example from Arkansas, a senator who is very strongly in favor of standard time. And I've been to the Hill several times when I was the president of the Society for Research on Biological Rhythms. And the Society for Research on Biological Rhythms is a whole bunch of scientists who study circadian rhythms from around the world. And we were asked to go to the Hill to talk about how our science benefits society and how it informs policies like this. And so they were receptive at the time, but unfortunately, big money may be a stronger voice in DC around issues like this than other voices, like talking about the welfare of our children and the health of our population.
So I just would want to make the distinction so everybody knows the bill that just passed the House is called the Sunshine Protection Act, and the better bill that Eric Herzog is talking about is the Sunshine for Our Kids Act, which is also coming out of the House. So,
which sounds like, I mean, they both sound like pro-sunshine bills. That's very confusing.
I think we're all pro-sunshine.
That's what I mean. That's why all the acronyms for these bills, they should have named it Don't Be an Idiot Act. Like just don't be an idiot. I mean, for real, for Sunshine for Our Kids and the Sunshine Protection Act, voters have to do their due diligence.
So I know that you're not a politician here, but if you had to guess what you think might end up happening here, eventually, if it's not this permanent DST or either of the bills we're talking about, what do you think will end up happening?
Yeah, and this is something that scientists have been advocating for a decade, to make it possible to have every state go to standard time. And we've seen that recent trends have actually moved towards permanent standard time, with more bills from more states than ever before in favor of permanent standard time. The big voice for daylight saving time has been Marco Rubio, and we have seen that in recent years he has had more political power. And so he may be able to pull this off now and get SPA, permanent daylight saving time, passed. But there's some significant pushback right now. And one possibility is that what's going to happen is they're going to make it possible for each state to make a decision for themselves, and it'll be turned over to the voters. And right now, any state can be permanent standard time. They can do that like Arizona and Hawaii. But it's actually against federal law to make your state permanent daylight saving time. So these bills would make it possible for those states like Florida, who think they're going to make more money for certain industries on permanent daylight saving time, to do that. So we may start to see the map break up a little bit, perhaps along sort of political, economic lines. But each state hopefully will turn it over to the voters to decide what's best for them.
And then I guess we'll be able to tell which states have the stupid people based on the time zone they're in. Like, well, what time is it there? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what we want the map to look like, a checkerboard. That's what the time zone map should look like.
We had a texter say split the difference and do a half an hour.
There you go. We could talk about this a whole lot longer, and we do appreciate this, and I'm sure we'll get an opportunity to do it because our government will do something stupid. Eric Herzog, professor of biology at WashU. His Herzog Lab is really amazing. He's a Victor Hamburger Distinguished Professor of Arts and Sciences at WashU. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
That was fascinating. But
I feel discouraged, though.
I do too. We're gonna do the wrong thing. I know it. It's 2026. We will do the wrong thing.
So that whoever votes against or for it, the opponent can say, "Did you know he voted against sunshine?
He voted against our children.
He voted against our children."
It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft shoes, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
You work hard, follow the rules, and get absolutely slammed by taxes. Your paycheck taxed. Your property taxed. Everything you buy taxed. Missouri's tax system isn't broken, it's rigged against you. The lawyers and lobbyists working for big corporations and the super rich buried over 200 loopholes for themselves in our tax code. While they pay nothing on the services they use, working families are taxed over and over. It's no wonder they're lying about Amendment 5. Our corrupt tax system is rigged in their favor. They're getting a free ride on your back. Don't believe their lies. The truth is, Amendment 5 closes loopholes exploited by the super rich and slashes taxes paid by Missouri's working families, phasing out income taxes and cutting property taxes. They finally pay what they owe while you keep what you earn. Vote yes on Amendment 5. Paid for by Missouri Promise PAC.
Homeowners, I know a lot of you are worried about one thing when it comes to selling, and that's leaving money on the table. Hey, this is Kevin Wheeler. I'm here with Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. So, Gloria, how do you help sellers make sure that they get top dollar?
The reality is, most homes don't sell for what they should. I see it happen all the time. They either price it wrong or they don't create enough demand. But with over 2,400 buyers in my Buyers in Waiting database and my exclusive pricing strategy, I'm able to offer my seller a 100% market value guarantee. And if I can't get you 100% of your home's market value, I'll pay you the difference. So you don't have to wonder if you left money on the table. You can sell with confidence, knowing you maximize your sale.
Make sure you get every dollar for your home. That's why you call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession.
As America celebrates its 250th anniversary, Steve Butts and everyone at Crawford Butts Insurance wish everyone a safe and joyful summer, proudly serving the community for generations. Happy 250th, America.
When pain starts to slow you down, BJC Healthcare and WashU Medicine orthopedic specialists are here to help. Nationally recognized leaders in orthopedics deliver care that's informed by research and personalized for you. From everyday aches to complex injuries and recovery, we're here to help you get back to doing what you love. Find an orthopedic specialist today. Visit bjc.org/orthopedics or call 314-362-9355.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Text messages to 314-436-7900. A lot of thoughts about daylight savings time. Daylight saving time, having it be permanent, and it has passed the House. It's got to go through the Senate, which it may not. And there's an opposing bill which would make standard time permanent. We just spoke to Eric Herzog, professor of biology at WashU, who studies circadian rhythms. So, like, this is his livelihood. And he says that it'd be better if we did permanent standard time. It's just better for our health collectively. And we've solicited text messages. This one says, what about those of us who get depressed when it's dark at 4:15? Well, I mean, to that I would say, what about people who are depressed when they wake up and it's 8 o'clock and dark?
Or 9 o'clock and dark.
Yes.
Oof, the 9 o'clock and dark is bad.
And the scientists literally just told us that it is better for our bodies for us to have the daylight earlier in the day, in the morning, so that we can wake up as opposed to later at night or in the evening. So it's better to have, some daylight at 7 a.m. as opposed to having it at 5 or 6 p.m., right? That's what the science tells us.
I mean, as a morning person, it means, I know people are like, nobody cares about morning people. But I mean, there's, I guess, I don't know, maybe it's 50-50 morning people, night people. I don't know. But I do
If the research is telling us that it's better, listen to us. It is better. We study circadian rhythms. It is better for you to have it later in the day. I think we should listen to that.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, when we talk a lot about health, wellness,
or earlier in the day, sorry.
Health, wellness, mental health, and even just safety for kids because they're waiting at bus stops and walking to their bus stop in the morning, that, yeah, it does benefit you to have the sun earlier. And circadian rhythms are so key to your overall wellness. Yes, your mental and emotional health, but also your sleep. I mean, everybody talks about cortisol and inflammation, and I know we're going down a rabbit hole here, but all of that ties into sleep. All of that ties into the circadian rhythm. And if you are into health and wellness, you will think a lot about and talk a lot about the circadian rhythm, walking outside when the sun is coming up, grounding yourself, making sure you're setting your body back with nature, because we do live in a world where, I mean, you can spend a lot of time indoors, you're looking at screens, you're disconnected from nature, from Earth, from which we came. So even though it feels like who cares, I do actually, believe and trust the science that it makes a difference.
Another texter says, get over it. Your discussion is longer than the damn hour difference. That's not true. We talked to him for 15 minutes, which is 25% of an hour. The stress is caused by talking about it. Then the time change. Wow. They added a wow at the end. Again, literally listen to the scientist who's telling you that it leads to more car accidents, worse performance at work.
Because we have the data.
We have the data. And general overall health, it is worse for you. This is a person who studies this.
This guy's probably eating lettuce while he texts.
It's longer than the day. I know this for a fact. 15 minutes is shorter than an hour.
Are you sure?
I know that much.
Unless you're listening to us.
That's right. I tell you, some of these texters are shortening my life. How about that?
I was messing up my circadian rhythm.
314-436-7900. Go ahead and join us on the show today. Are you avoiding those leafy vegetables because you're afraid of the poo-poo parasite? Well, tell us all about it. 314-436-7900. It's the biggest stage in the world, and it's been going on for weeks, and man, has it been exciting. And today, the last semifinal game, because we're playing for the Saturday championship game in the biggest tournament in the world. England, Argentina will play today at 2 o'clock, and FanDuel is offering FanDuel's Super Sub. Well, what does that mean? Well, here's what it means. If you've bet a player and the player gets subbed out of the game at any point, it's okay because you can stay involved in the action when that sub comes in because the sub just takes over the bet for you. Great deal. So you're in it right until the final whistle. You can take advantage of it during the soccer matches on FanDuel.com/Missouri, which is where you go to sign up. FanDuel.com/Missouri. guess what? If you win, you get paid out instantly with FanDuel. They want to make sure it's that way for you. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Every day starts the same way, and then it goes wherever it wants.
Life doesn't stop for Cardinals baseball. It just kind of runs alongside it. Dave Glover here from The Dave Glover Show. We're talking real life, real stuff, and yes, a lot of Cardinals along the way, because that's how fans actually live it. It's just like happy hour, man. We get together every day from 1 to 5. We have fun, we laugh, we commiserate, we complain. DGS 1 to 5.
The Dave Glover Show at 1, and then Cardinals baseball. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
It is sunny with some clouds in the sky outside Studio B. 90 degrees right now. Real field temperature 106. Hazy sunshine today, a high of 93. Tonight, partly cloudy, humid, and a low of 74. Weather sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
If your retirement plan is mostly what if and a little fingers crossed, you deserve better answers than that. Check out Wealth and Wisdom Saturdays at 7 a.m. here on KMOX. I'm Gary Goldberg. Call 800-966-1690.
Let's take a break.
Good idea.
Hey, Tom, what are you doing on that Amendment 4?
You know we fought for our freedom and rights. I'm not giving them away without a fight.
4 takes them?
That's exactly what 4 does. For over 100 years, Missouri voters have used our constitutional power to act when the politicians refused. I'll be darned if I'm voting to pass on less freedom and power to my kids.
And doesn't 4 kill majority rule?
Yep, creates minority rule, where just 5% of statewide voters in one district can block any citizen-led reform, making it nearly impossible to pass citizen-led ballot measures.
That's just dumb.
And when the politicians refuse to act, we've used citizen-led ballot measures to pass some big stuff, like lobbyist reforms, term limits for career politicians, and outlawing tax hikes without voter approval.
I'm not surrendering my power and rights to a bunch of politicians and lobbyists. I'm no on Amendment 4.
Hard no on 4.
Pay 4 buttons or inch, prepare governance.
Hey guys, this is Kevin Wheeler. If you're looking for a little kick in the pants when it comes to dropping a little weight, getting better shape, getting more into the gym, think about Burn Balance Complex, which you can pick up at Supplement Superstores. I've been using it since it came out. It's fantastic. You notice right away the difference. Look, we all have busy schedules. I do and you do. You know, we all have problems sometimes with controlling our eating patterns and staying on a plan. Well, Burn Balance Complex makes that so much easier. It's not magic, but it definitely helps make it easier. It is a complete metabolism system. It's not just a fat burner. So what you're talking about is a natural weight loss option. So if you're a person that doesn't want to go get a prescription, you're not into injections, this is a great choice for you. In addition to the metabolism boost, you get to lower stress and cortisol levels, get better sleep. It can help control appetite and cravings, all-day focused energy with no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. If you want the help, and look, we all need it, I know I do, go to Supplement Superstores, tell them your story, mention Kevin Wheeler, and they'll knock 30% off the Burn Balance Complex. You can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com. And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons. And lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen. And oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live. And you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Hey, it's Glover. Right now, buy 4 windows and get 4 for free and 48 months with 0% interest, same as cash. 314-334-2522. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Tomorrow night, it's City Soccer on KMOX. First up, Gen C's hosts a special soccer edition of Sports Open Line beginning at 6 from Energizer Park. Then, it's City SC facing Sporting KC. Pre-game 7:05, kick at 7:30. City Soccer on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Yeah, speaking of sports, there's a City SC games on KMOX tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. But before that, today,
World Cup.
World Cup, baby. England and Argentina.
I think I'm
2 p.m.
I think I'm rooting for England.
No, you can't.
I think I am.
They're whiny.
I want to hear Wonderwall.
Harry Kane is too angular. And worst of all, they play Wonderwall.
Wonderwall is a great song. It just is not Oasis's best song. It's like not even, I don't even think it's top 10. I think they have so many better songs, but that's the one everybody knows. I think they should go with Don't Look Back in Anger. That's a better song, but they've chosen Wonderwall, and that's fine.
Is Wonderwall a real victory song? Not
no,
really.
No. But I do know that I saw this the other day that Wonderwall is like shot up the Spotify charts because of England and the run they're
They
on
do
in
have
the
a
World
lot
Cup.
of walls in England.
They certainly do castles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And moats.
Hadrian's Wall is in England. That's a really famous wall.
We'll talk.
Built in 60
60.
or 61. I think it was built in 61. Like
61?
just 61, not 1961, just 61.
Like 0061.
Yes.
We have Gas House Gang coming up at 12 o'clock with Bernie Miklas and me. We will talk to Jim Callis from MLB Pipeline at 12:30. We tried to link up with him yesterday. We're unable to, so we're talking about Cardinals prospects today and the draft they just had over the weekend, which kind of universally has been considered one of the best drafts that any team had in baseball over the weekend, which is very, very good. It doesn't mean all those guys are going to end up being contributing major leaguers, but it is a good sign that people outside St. Louis believe the front office is doing a good job at identifying young talent, because eventually that young talent is going to work its way up to the big leagues, hopefully. And you want to have a good farm system. And the Cardinals have done a lot of improving of the farm system in the last 2 years, which is going to help the big league team down the road. And maybe we can get back to being like what the Brewers are, right?
Yep.
Because the Brewers have been fantastic. So
Well,
we'll
because
talk
the Brewers technically, I think, were what the Cardinals were.
Yeah, that's
We're
exactly
playing
right.
leapfrog right now.
That is exactly right.
With the development. And
that's how even the Brewers fans, I told you about the show in Milwaukee or Madison, I can't remember, I was listening to last week on Fox Sports, Brewers fans, and they were saying, we're the Cardinals now.
Yeah.
And this was after that series, that 5-game series where they came in and cleaned our clocks.
Yeah.
And took 4 of 5. And they in Milwaukee, they feel like we are what the Cardinals used to be. And now the Cardinals are trying to get back to what they used to be.
And I am feeling very hopeful because it's looking good, feeling happy. I will say, I think it's been good that the Brewers have become what the Cardinals were, because I get it now. It's annoying.
It's super
like
annoying.
Super annoying.
Isn't it?
Like right when you think like, oh, the Brewers aren't going to be good, they like polish up some guy, dust him off, and like, here's a superstar we found. Let's throw him on the mound. And yeah, it's annoying. I get it.
For example, they are trading for, apparently, there's been reporting today, a guy named Lance McCullers, who stinks this year. And my first thought is, they probably identified something that they're going to bring him in and fix him, and he's going to be great for the rest of the year or something. I don't know. But anyway, we'll talk about the draft and all of that, what they've done, 12:30 with Jim Callis. But the Gas House Gang starts at noon.
314-436-7900. We want to hear from you. Are you avoiding leafy greens and vegetables because of the cyclosporiasis outbreak, which officially there have been 1,645, let's just say 1,600 confirmed cases of the explosive diarrhea bug in the U.S. since May 1st. The CDC is investigating over 5,000 additional cases, which is, a lot. So even if you take the 7,000 cases that we just mentioned and say all of them are positive, I will say, in a country of 350 million people, 7,000 is not that many. Like, your odds are good. And I feel like the way that we and pretty much every news outlet has covered this, if you had guessed how many Americans have it, I'd be like 50 million. 50 million, maybe 100 million people have it, because it's all everyone's talking about. There was a doctor who told the LA, like LA 10 or whatever
Yeah.
the local news is, if you're in California, like, don't eat any vegetables for 2 weeks. And I'm thinking, that feels like, just like looking at the numbers, that feels like maybe an exceeding abundance of caution. Because again, out of 350 million people, 7,000 is not that many. Am I still afraid of it? Well, yeah, absolutely. But are the odds that you don't have it or you're not going to get it? Yes. It just feels like 50 million people have it by the amount of coverage it's getting.
It does. So it's a, I don't know. It's like it's become a bit of an irrational fear.
You're right. It has for sure.
But I think when you say parasites and then you say explosive diarrhea, nobody wants that. I mean, you'll survive it probably. The odds are very, very, very high that you will survive it if it does happen. It's very, very, very low that you won't. But it's possible.
Yeah.
But there's something about all that tied in together, and we don't like the word parasites. I had, some chicken and some rice the other day, and there was cilantro in the rice, and I won't lie to you. I thought about it the whole time.
Yep.
Like, man, I hope this isn't poo-poo cilantro.
Well, I don't want to say smoothie. I had my cyclosporiasis smoothie yesterday.
You did.
That's all I could think about because there were leafy greens. Okay, can I again just clarify here? I'm kind of surprised by the amount of coverage it's getting. Is it 27 times the number of cases from last year, which is a lot? Yes, 27 times the number of cases of cyclosporiasis is a lot. But again, 7,000 cases right now is not a lot compared to 350 million people. And it feels like a third of the country has it just by the amount of coverage it's getting. Really, I can tell you what you should be afraid of. Because the cyclosporiasis, thankfully, is primarily, it's diarrhea forward, right? It's just very diarrhea
really
forward. Yep.
Yeah.
Not like the norovirus, which is both ends and terrifying.
Yeah.
Guess how many people get the norovirus every year? The average is between 19 and 21 million people. That's what we should be afraid of.
I know.
The both ender, where
Yeah.
say 20 million people a year get norovirus. That we should still be talking about norovirus. The cyclosporiasis, again, maybe the numbers are going to explode. No pun intended.
Gross.
But maybe we shouldn't be that afraid.
This texter says, I'm 70 and I've never had an issue with number 2, so I don't want a parasite messing with me. A donut or candy bar never do you wrong.
That's true.
Well, it can, but it won't give you the poo-poo bug.
Well, and I have someone who's mad at me that I said I'm a morning riser, and they said you can get up early in the morning and eat your rotten vegetables in the dark.
There you go. This texter says, I saw last night on NBC the affected regions were basically all the states but Missouri. And if you look at the map of confirmed cases, yeah, it's like all the states. It's literally a ring around Missouri, and there's nothing in Missouri. And there was nothing reported in Oklahoma. And Oklahoma just barely touches Missouri. But yes, for the most part, yes. And it says a very stark story. Sure, we're not pooping lettuce bugs, but I'm also sure the state's colon isn't the cleanest either. No, it's not.
Like the texter said, Missouri don't eat salad.
That was from the other day.
Yeah.
Missouri don't eat salad. No. Salad? What are we worried about? Missouri don't eat salad? Great.
Kevin on YouTube is watching. He said, stay 6 feet away from the vegetables.
Okay, that's not how that works, Kevin.
I think it is. I think that's a good idea.
Stay 6 feet from all vegetables?
Yeah. But don't you, again, I'm saying this, again, talking out of both sides of my mouth because I contradict myself. I disagree with myself all the time. But what are you going to do? You got to kill 3 hours. At any rate, I am worried about the poo-poo bug in the leafy greens to the point that I was going to make this salad that had a lot of cilantro in it. But cilantro keeps popping up as one of the bad ones. It's not even technically confirmed in Missouri yet, as we just mentioned. And yet I'm afraid, so I didn't make my cilantro salad. And like I said, 7,000 people even 1,600, but let's say it's 7,000 if all the suspected cases are. Your odds are still really good that you're going to be okay.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
We need to be afraid of norovirus.
There was I think it was a TikTok. It was either TikTok or an Instagram post from a guy who was like, hey, what about all of us IBS people? How do we know if we have the parasite or if it's just a regular day?
I told you
I
that,
think that's
right?
a great question.
Because I had it. I think I had this in May. And as I mentioned yesterday, anyone who knows me or has heard me talk for longer than 15 minutes know that I have severe gastrointestinal distress pretty much all the time. And so I was very, very ill with something that I got, a.k.a. I had just eaten cilantro. And it took me about 5 days before I realized this is really bad. This is not good. Because someone said, how did you not know? I said, listen, when I eat a trigger food, I'm very ill for 2 days. Up to 2 weeks, I'm kind of ill, but very ill for 2 days. So, yeah, it took me 3 to 5 business days before I realized, oh my gosh, this is something horrible. And then I got medicine and I was very, very ill and it was terrible. But that's exactly right, fellow IBSer. You might not know for a while.
Hey, single men, if you're looking for a lady with tummy issues, I got one for you.
I mean, yeah.
There are a lot of women with tummy issues.
I saw a thing. I'm not
Why does it-
calling
why does it
myself
feel-
hot. Someone
I'm
said
just
hot
te-
girls
I'm
have
telling-
stomach issues.
Let me tell you this. In my
Yeah.
experience, of all the ladies I've met,
Yeah.
it's like 90% of them have a stomach problem.
I'm blaming men.
It's always... Well, that's convenient, isn't it? This texter...
Well, doesn't it make sense if you don't have them and it's all the ladies? I think you guys are stressing us out.
We're not stressing them out on the first date.
Just your
They always tell you right away, like, I got stomach problem. I got tummy problems.
Well, I didn't want to lie because I didn't get a drink and we were supposed to get drinks and I didn't want this person to think I was a teetotaler because trust me, I'm lame enough without being a teetotaler. And
You're teetotaler adjacent.
I drink tequila and bourbon. And that's my favorite. And I get tequila and bourbon for my birthday, and I've gotten it as gifts, but my darn IBS won't let me drink it. So here's what I said. Listen, I said, I would have a drink with you. It's not that I don't drink, but here's what's going on. And then this guy told me like 2 years later, he said, do you know what I remember from the first date? I said, what? He goes, you talked primarily about IBS and Jesus.
Yep.
That's my life. And you know what? It was fine. It worked for a long time. It was good.
This is what... Also, she sweats.
I sweat a lot. The back of my shirt has a stain on it.
Right now?
Yes.
God, you're a nightmare. And no, we do not recommend eating vegetables in place of your GLP shots. Thanks for the suggestion via the text line.
Because it's all water weight. You don't want that.
This texter says, lots of barbecue and beer. The poo-poo bug doesn't have a chance. I don't think that's the remedy either, but everybody loves beer and ribs.
Listen, we got another. You brought up the GLP shots. This person says, how much weight loss we talking if the poo-poo bug gets you? It's water weight. It doesn't work that way. It's not good.
Yeah, that's not the kind of release you're looking for. It's the Chris and Amy Show. Gas House Gang is coming up at 12. A lot of Cardinals talk with Bernie Miklasz and me on KMOX.
Things in Washington, D.C. may seem unsettled at times by their lack of progress, but one department in the U.S. government is progressing. That is the IRS. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS is in full function to collect on unpaid taxes. If you've been putting off a tax problem, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and get it resolved. Don't think the government is too busy to focus on my issues. Too many of my clients thought the same. So if you owe back taxes or haven't filed returns in years, it's time to call the Lance Story Law Firm and finally resolve your tax issues. Remember, if you have tax problems, you have legal problems. Call the Lance Story Law Firm. Our office is right here in St. Louis. Or call 314-260-6120 or visit LanceStoryLaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
You care about every detail, and so does Purina. Every ingredient in their pet food comes from trusted sources, and every ingredient has a purpose. Whether that purpose is to provide just the right nutrients your pet needs or a flavor they will love, Purina has over 250 recipes made without artificial flavors or preservatives for you to choose from. you're sure to find something both you and your pet will love. Learn more at Purina.com.
Spreadsheets, clunky software, 100 different logins just to run your business? Ah.
There's a better way. Odoo. One simple, connected platform that handles sales, inventory, accounting, and more, so you can focus on growing, not juggling. Make the switch today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call us now. $30 billion was set aside for meso victims, and in most cases, your claim is settled out of court without a jury trial. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
And Doug.
Hot dog! Get your hot dog! Customize and save with Liberty Mutual.
Hey, what are you doing?
I like your method. Direct, to the point. A little loud, but...
Listen, people don't buy car insurance the same way they do hot dogs.
Not yet, but both are customizable.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn!
Hey, this is a hot dog area.
And customize and save area. Get a quote at libertymutual.com or with your local agent.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Summer is here. Time to enjoy baseball, barbecues, and the shade of your trees. When it comes to tree care, call the certified arborist at Gamma Tree Experts. Hi, I'm Tim Gamma. Protect your valuable trees from storm damage or devastating insects such as the emerald ash borer. Knowledge and quality are hallmarks of our reputation. For pruning, spraying, fertilization, or removals, call Gamma Tree Experts today at 314-725-6159 or visit us at gammatree.com. Your trees deserve the best care.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you washed that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, nope. That's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever. Now with odor fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX. Chris Ranji, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Harambe checks in on the text line. Don't look at it, Amy.
Okay.
He says he has chili dogs for lunch today, so he just wants to be safe. And I don't know. I've never seen Harambe. I don't want to meet him ever. I just want to have a picture in my mind of what I think he is.
Because they say never meet your heroes.
But exactly.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what I figure he has for lunch every day is chili dogs.
Yeah, like today doesn't feel special to me in the sense of it's not like, oh, Harambe had chili dogs. It's like, obviously, Harambe had chili dogs.
Here's a listener from a 217 area code. Hello, Springfield.
Dallas?
Yeah, that's close enough.
217.
217 is like Springfield-ish.
Is it really?
Illinois.
Central Illinois.
Yeah. Says, oh, Amy, you could be describing me. Every summit shot of me from hiking is just all salty sweat stains on my shirt. Oh, and my IBS fast switches to the old out-of-town shutdown. I'm a mess, but Jesus loves me.
Oh my gosh, I hate the out-of-town shutdown, otherwise known as vacation constipation.
Yes, I just learned about that recently. Because I don't have out-of-town shutdown.
It's one of my worst fears, right up there with mildew and going to prison for a crime I didn't commit. It's just, you're on vacation and you can't.
I'm as regular as
the day is long.
as daylight saving time.
Yeah. Which means twice a year you get messed up.
No, man, I'm good. Like I am when I'm on vacation, I'm good. In fact, we need to go into BMs. What are we talking about here?
What?
I don't want to go into more BM talk. What are we doing? I was about to start like
you were so proud.
I was about to start more like, let me tell you about this. And
you did
I
the
stopped
old
myself.
fact. In fact,
This texter says Amy sweats, sneezes frequently, has IBS. She could be reclassified as a pug.
do pugs sweat?
Probably. They do sneeze a lot because their snout is like a little stuffy snout.
Yeah, but I have a hose nose.
All right, let's end the show.
Oh my gosh,
we got baseball talk to do.
I do feel like a little relieved, though. I feel like, listen, this is who I am. The people know who I am now.
Yeah, I've known.
IBS is the worst, man.
All right, goodbye.
I just want to be normal.
I want you to be normal so bad, but I don't get a say in it. All right. Anything, I mean, you could. Anything you missed on the show, including this discussion, it's on the Odyssey app, KMOX.com, wherever you get your podcasts. All available to you every day. Listen whenever you want. And then come back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Amy Marks Kors, Chris Ron G. Coming up next, Bernie Miklasz is in with me for the Gas House Gang on KMOX.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Ethos.
The uncertainty that clouded the job market last year appears to be melting away.
All indicators